What is up, Friday Nighters? Welcome back to It's Finally Friday again, Double A, and it is just another Friday night, and you are on with your host of Just Another Friday Night. This is Double A,
Hey,
Adam and Tim Adam.
What's up, everyone? What's up?
I'm CM Chuck. We're just using the Double A and the CM for right now. We're here and we're hanging out with you, and we welcome you to our show, our podcast. If you're joining us on Facebook Live, we invite you to come in, say hi, say hello, join the conversation, tell us about what's going on in your week and in the world of pop culture around you, things that you've been interested in, movies you watched. A lot of cool stuff happening this week, Double A. I've got some stuff to geek about. We've got some stuff to show you here at the start of the show. As we wait for you guys to roll in, we're going to do that. And then after the first 30 minutes, we're going to probably read some more of your comments and talk to you guys some more. And then we're going to get into our subject of the night. What else? I don't know. I feel like I said a lot right there. It's Friday, guys. Shit. I'm happy. I'm excited to be back here on a Friday night with you guys chilling. And let's get to some comments. Double A, what do you think?
Oh, hey, Amy in the house. What's up?
What is up, sis? We appreciate you being here.
Yeah. I know you said you might be having dinner. So
yeah, that's right. I think she's having some nice sushi somewhere.
I'm glad you're watching.
Yeah, which kind of ties into maybe our topic a little bit.
Right? Maybe
native food there or whatever. But Double A, adrenalize me, brother. You got some cool shit to show. I can't wait to see this. And while you do that, I'm gonna do something too. So you get that going, and I'll
yeah.
Do my
thing. With the King introduction last last week already?
Yeah, last week.
Okay, last week. All his shit's been going up, and if you know me and CM, we love Alex Ross covers. Well, I saw this on the app Key Collector, and I just couldn't pass it up. That's real nice. It's King in all his versions of himself. So that was a real sweet copy.
Things probably to come, guys. Things probably to come.
Let me see. Oh, and then I went to my new favorite comic store, Sanctuary.
Oh.
You know what? He had a few X-Force issue 1 copies there. This one I got for $5. So it was always nice to actually have the real X-Force issue 1 on this one. So I finally had, because I always had the gold one. So now I actually have the real one.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize. Dude, I need you to take me there so that I can check that out and get one of those myself.
And then this was another kind of thing I found on Key Collector, which I didn't know really. I never really paid attention. So I bought a G.I. Joe comic, issue 48. This is the first appearance of Sergeant Slaughter in the comics.
Badass.
So that's always pretty damn cool.
Looks like Zartan's got gung ho and like a chokehold there. Yeah. Zartan, what a dick you are.
And then they also had these, which I thought I had this series and I don't. And I was lucky that Sanctuary Comics had this. It's a 0 hour. And it kind of starts backwards. So this is the first one, but it's issue 4.
Very nice.
Then it goes to 3, 2, 1, and then 0 hour.
Very cool. And that's before they did those blank covers people could draw on, but I guess you could easily. Well, what's that story about?
So this story is pretty much where Hal is the bad guy. He's the main bad guy.
This is him as where they're fighting Parallax. Okay.
Where he's trying to erase time.
Nice.
Because he's already completely flipped. He's like, I was thinking very little. I was thinking about Coast City when I have enough power, I can change the universe itself into what it could be. So he's fighting everyone. Superman, everyone. All the major hitters are here against their old former comrade. So that was a big event during the 90s.
Time is of the essence. People are always messing with time, it seems like. Yeah. And I got versed on Parallax from this man here.
How crazy is it, right? That a Green Lantern is the bad guy.
Yeah,
they're one of the Justice League members.
Good guys gone bad. Yeah, man. Seriously. Double A for Steve here. Steve, welcome back.
Steve.
How was your trip? Good. I said cheers. And in the amount of time you got back, I'm back to having a cold brew too, so it's always nice to have a cold beer with you guys here on Just Another Friday Night. What's your drink of choice? What are you drinking? Give us a toast, a hi and hello. Keep it going, Double A. Keep the
and then this one coming. Again. I kind of found out again after the whole King thing flew up. This is a 12-parter called Avengers Forever, and again it deals with time. And here they team up with King to go up against Immortus. And they're pulling Avengers from all the time periods together. So they said that this is kind of one of the essential King the Conqueror storylines.
Really?
And in issue 9, which I have bookmarked, it's supposed to be a pretty good origin and explains how Kang is able to do the shit he does.
How and who Kang
so
is.
This is, this popped up as an essential reading, so I picked that one up. And then this was kind of a surprise. Because I got one of them on eBay. The guy sent me a free copy of Batman, or Damian, Son of Batman.
Oh, nice.
I didn't pay for this. I hope he didn't make a mistake. But the cover is done by Andy Kubert. I mean, the Kuberts are awesome.
Andy and Adam are legend, and their dad
dad is a monster legend.
Yeah,
so I mean, that cover just looks pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, I love it. I am in a huge love of Robin mode, but Dick Grayson Robin.
But that's Damian.
Yeah, that's Damian. But yeah, man, right now I'm all about Nightwing and Robin for some reason. I've been watching Titans. Maybe that's why. Really great show, guys. It's getting ready to have a season 3. It's on HBO Max, season 1 and 2, and it is really well done. And I like where it's at and where it's going right now. So also too, I think that I have a much bigger love for Nightwing because he's not the asshole that Batman is.
Well, no, Nightwing's a badass character, and I was kind of hoping that's where Nolan was going to go after Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that would have been.
I thought Joseph Gordon-Levitt was gonna be there.
Yeah, I don't know if this is your show pile or gonna show pile. Okay, your show. Okay.
So I was kind of hoping for that, and then these were from about 2 weeks ago. This is from Invincible Comics, which they are having their sale right now. Actually, and if you go to Facebook. They are having a live auction, and man, I was really surprised. I was able to pick this up for a really low price. This is hardcover. At Heroes, they sell these motherfuckers for like $25 to $30.
You gave me that very book for my birthday on this show, maybe like in one of our earlier episodes.
Yeah, and I was able to win this on their live auction for $15.
Yeah, Alfred runs the auction. Well, if you guys join Invincible Comics and more, their group, if you're really into collecting comics, send us a message and we can give you an invite to the group. They always do different types of auctions.
They are having one right now as we speak.
Yeah, that auction is run by Alfred, but our friend Lucky the Dork Dad, he has a grab bag thing going in there right now. He's trying to get it to fill up. I bought a spot for $12. There's a chance to win a slab book. There's a chance to win a hardcover book. There's a chance to win a $30 gift certificate to 3leggedrabbit.com, where you can go get Just Another Friday Night t-shirts if you want. Or you can get Lucky's podcast, Dork Dad podcast shirts, or you can get his other podcast with Joe, Little Joe. Now watch this podcast. But really, you want to get that Just Another Friday Night merchandise. We got tank tops on there, guys. So you can get some of our tank tops on there.
Yeah, and then I also got this one too. It sounded really interesting. It's called Survivors Club, and it's issue 6.
Very cool.
For the Vertigo storyline.
And that guy looks like he got bit on the neck or something.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So what this story is, this limited series is, it's a whole bunch of survivors from monster movies that you would know from the 80s. They all get together and fight this new kind of like demonic force. They never say it, but they say one person was possessed by poltergeist. Another one lived with a killer doll.
Oh, okay.
And then I forgot what the other one was, but they all kind of come together, this group with some new other kids that have also faced up, and they're going up against someone called Mr. Empty Man or something like that. So it's pretty much like a demonic kind of terror, but it's survivors from a lot of the 80s movies that we all love.
Yeah,
so that's cool. What this one is. And it got me interested. I did read that there is a trade, so I might go ahead and get that trade because this is issue 6 of 9. So I mean, kind of reading it was a little bit hard.
Okay.
To kind of like where
what's going on?
Yeah, kind of what's like you said, what's going on. So but you know what, it snagged me pretty good. So I'm probably gonna check out the trade.
Yeah, I remember it definitely sounded intriguing when Alfred mentioned it in the auction.
And again, this was in an auction, and he gave a pretty good description, and it's like $4, and I was like, I'll take it, and it works out. You just put in like the amount, I think, and like this was like $4. So you do like 4A, you comment like 4A. Yeah. And it's usually like 2. It's like 4A, 4B.
Yeah. And Alfred has like 2 slots set up, and he puts an item in section A, an item in section B, and then he'll talk about.
Then you just kind of put like the price, I guess, and then the letter, and but there could be a chance that somebody else wants to bid on it too.
I thought it sounded interesting, and I saw somebody put $4, and I was about to put $5, and then I saw that it was AA that put $4. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna bid over Adam. I'll just borrow it from him and read it. You know?
Yeah. So, but I mean, it kind of works like that. It's kind of it is a live auction. It's so you can kind of bid, and there is some serious bidding going on one of the big items.
Was the old Avengers comic book the Fantastic Four where they met the Beatles, right?
No. Strange Shows actually didn't get nothing. I almost put it in, but I was already
you're getting in there.
Yeah, because I was like $30 starting off, which ain't a bad price. That's actually not a bad price. And then I found out was stupid of me. That's the first appearance of Caecilius.
Oh,
so I was like, damn it, So I found out on Key Collector. I was like, damn, Caecilius, he was the bad guy from Doctor Strange, so so I was like, damn, but I wanted to see what else Alfred was
I didn't know that either. I would have been on that.
Yeah,
I don't know if Alfred said that. He might not have said that.
I think it was just they were focusing on the Fantastic Four looking like Beatles.
Looking like the Beatles, which I thought was funny. It was like $65.
Yeah. So, but he had some item and people were like kind of bidding going up, and, so it's a live auction. It's fun though, so. It's real easy. It's not too hard.
And throughout the week, Alfred will post pictures of some things that are going to come up. Like, for instance, guys, in this week's auction, he has a copy of the Black Widow. Now, you might say, well, I already bought it on Disney Plus, or I already saw it in theaters, or what is this, a bootleg that he downloaded? No, it's not. It's an actual like viewer copy that would get mailed to you if you were part of, like, let's say the Academy of Motion Pictures, and you were getting like a viewing copy or whatever. So, but he got that copy. He put it in a nice case. He's got that up for auction, but it's Invincible Comics and more. So there's action figures. There's plushes. He had a great Miles Morales plush. Let me show you guys.
Yeah, that's right.
What I got.
It's also like what DVD, right? Like digital copies.
Yeah,
they sell.
I got a great copy of Terminator 2 from Alfred. I'm going to buy in this auction. I'm buying Preacher Season 3, which I didn't have for $8.
That's right. Yeah, I mean that's awesome. A whole season for $8.
Yeah, and it's a digital code, so you put that code in. You got to have a streaming, service you use. Like I use Vudu. I don't know which one you use for like that. Or there's Movies Anywhere. There's a bunch of them that you can use. And in fact, it tells you the instructions on there, and then it goes right into like your phone, your tablet, your TV streaming, and then you can watch it there if you're into that.
So I mean, $8 for a season, that's pretty damn good for CM. And what else do they kind of go? They sell digital copies, comics, trades. You said plushies, right?
There was a great Black Widow figure right at the beginning of the last one. $20. It was a Black Widow, a deluxe big figure. These are nice, guys. These always go for like almost 30. But this one was on sale. Alfred had it for 20. That's all that I saw this time, but there's usually other stuff.
Yeah, so if you're into any of that, just hit us up on our Facebook. We can send you the link to Alfred or the Invincible, and you can probably join that group.
Yeah.
And they usually have auctions almost every
Friday.
Almost.
Yeah. They go live kind of when we go live, but we had the benefit of getting to go last week, and we may join after we get done here, depending what time we get in. We may join that, but you can always rewatch the replay. You can see what gets bought and what doesn't get bought, and then you can, if there's anything left, you can always message Alfred and say, "Hey, Alfred." And that's just one of the many auctions on Invincible Comics and More, because the other, the creator, I believe, is Chris Rizzo. Alfred calls him Rizzo. Chris is a great guy. He does a different style auction where he just posts the pictures of the items that are in his auction, and he puts a price: $4, $3, $8. And because it's person to person, you can say, "Hey, will you take 3? Will you take 2?" And if he's willing to, he'll do that or whatever. There's no like real bidding. It's just like, here's the items, they're for sale. So I bought some really cool stuff in Chris's auction, and I'm going to show you guys what I got from Alfred's as well. Double, we have some questions in here.
Yeah, Steve is like, it's been a little bit. Code Bruce. He goes, he had an awesome vacation with family in Youngstown, Ohio, and a little trip to the Big Apple.
Oh, nice, Steve, man. How was New York? This guy's been in New York.
He goes 3 weeks of nothing but fun.
Oh, man, that's a vacation, right? Double A, 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
I can imagine, Steve. I bet you were happy to be home and in bed, huh? In your own bed.
And then Steve also graciously says he missed us.
We missed you too, bud.
And he goes, how's the quality guys in the auction?
I think if you mean of the Black Widow movie, it's regular like movie quality, like it's perfect, whatever. And the digital codes, those are just like, they come, you ever get a DVD that you buy or a Blu-ray and it's got that code in there and you're like, what the fuck is this? Like that code, you can type it in and then you'll have it on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer, pretty much anywhere that you can stream from. So it's perfect quality. I would say
I would say they're good enough guys that you're not going to get a fucking like fuzzy bootleg with the theater member getting up.
Yeah,
know?
Chris and Alfred run a very nice group there with good stuff for good people, and they try to give you the best prices. And once you make a relationship with them, they're good to you, really good to you. So let me guys show you real quick. So and a lot of times they do this too. They throw in some freebies. So this is from a couple weeks back when Chris had an auction, again, from Invincible Comics and more. That's why you see it down there in the corner. I didn't bid on this, but he threw it in there for me. So a very cool copy of Deadpool Assassins. That's pretty neat. I did bid on this one, which was I just like awesome. The Punisher fighting Daredevil.
That's fucking cool.
We always like it when there's like two people fighting. It reminded me of the show season 2 of Daredevil. I think there's something in this. It may be a first appearance or something. I'm not really sure, but you got Spider-Man fighting Shocker. I kind of love the way these like 90s ones look. You know what I mean, right? Double A, the
Shocker,
the classic, or somebody as Shocker. I know there were several Shockers.
Oh yeah.
Of course, you can't go wrong with, I thought this was a McFarlane cover, but I don't think it is. But it's always neat. My nephew's super into symbiotes right now, so I try to buy up symbiote stuff for him.
The Venom stuff is just getting harder and harder to find anyways. Like, I've never really seen this cover a whole lot, so that's awesome.
Yeah, my nephew super loves Carnage. That's his main guy. I'm a Superman guy. Double A's a Wolverine guy, and my nephew he's a Carnage guy. So okay, that's cool. I like this one. It says Sam Wilson, Captain America, although on the cover, this is a variant, a Steranko variant.
It looks like Steve.
Regular Steve right there, Steve Rogers.
Damn it.
And this one of our favorite artists, me and Double A's favorite artists, but I just love the cast on the cover of this. I don't know what the
cast is like a great bunch. This would be a great X-Force team. These are guys and women that just do not care. They will fucking kill you if they have to.
Conan, Punisher, Wolverine,
Electro, Wolverine. I even see Venom over there.
And at the top, Brother Voodoo,
so
who at one time was the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, I mean, these are guys and women that do not care about getting their hands bloody.
Not at all.
I mean, Punisher and Wolverine, what a fucking team alone.
I want to know more about that for sure. I'm going to be reading through that one. And I've been sitting on these guys and I'm waiting to show them to you.
This is great. I love this cover. Golly, the old, his old flashlight that he used to shine.
Joe Jusko guys. They did the famous series of cards, the first Marvel Masterpieces cards we were all in love with.
Yeah.
You could not forget how vibrant. He made Electro look cool in those cards.
He did. He really did.
I mean, I remember your brother specifically going, man, look at the yellow. Like the yellow looked like it was freaking real.
This is fucking awesome. Tell them about this one.
I love the Punisher. You guys know that. I love Tim Bradstreet, who did this Punisher covers for Garth Ennis. It's a Garth Ennis one, and that is Tim Bradstreet's autograph right there at the bottom.
Very nice.
Chris had this one on his auction for maybe $8. Double A. I got it for $8 or $10. I was like, I'm not gonna pass him on a Bradshaw autograph.
Hell no.
And we needed this last week for our first half with the Black Widow, but looking gorgeous as ever, Natasha Romanoff. On this cover, you've got the kind of the Russian castle back there. Not the Kremlin, right? The Kremlin. I always think about Tetris, but anyway, this great cover is by J. Scott Campbell. That man can draw and make any woman look beautiful. He needs to go and draw Frank Miller's women because Frank Miller's
you didn't like it?
Frank Miller's women, they have square nipples. And also from Chris, I won this was like an extra I won. You guys know we love The Walking Dead, so I got this like metal Rick Grimes right here. Pretty cool, pretty heavy, pretty sturdy. So that was so totally awesome and nice. Those guys always like to say stay invincible. And let me show you guys real quick what I got from Alfred's auction. This is where this is the same auction I was in with Double A, so you can get an idea of what was in Double A's and what was in mine. I bid on this box, and this was a mystery box. They do this a lot, where it's a mystery box. You don't know what's going to be in there, but they tell you it could be a slabbed comic book, it could be a hardcover, it could be something else. Yeah, an autograph. So I won that. I actually put my other comic in there that I bid on. I think I bid on this one solo. I just wanted it's like a cool like a horror book. I thought my girl might like it. So it's like a freaky. This is called it's from Joe Hill Hill House Comics. If you guys
Stephen
know,
King's son.
Joe Hill is Stephen King's son, so I was like, it's got to be good, right? And it's
If
freaky
you're
with the
a fan
zombie.
of Nosferatu, the
Mhm.
AMC show, that was his show too.
So I bid on that one. I won that one for $4. That auction was really cool, right? Double A, because
Yes.
people were winning on the first bid. It wasn't like going up.
I
But
was.
in this box, it was a mystery box. I went up a couple of times with somebody, and I think I ended up getting it for like maybe 38. I got this great hardcover, Avengers, X-Men,
That's
Bloodlines.
a really great story.
Yeah, Double A was re-educating me about this story. I had forgotten about it. One of the great villains that you will probably eventually be in a movie, Exodus.
Exodus is badass. And this is like his highlight.
Scarlet Witch on the cover, Cap, Rogue, Cyclops. You got the X-Men and the Avengers having to
this
team
is
up.
like almost like for Exodus, this is like Ultimate Warrior at WrestleMania 6.
Mhm.
You know, this is like that kind of deal. This is Exodus at his peak glory. So.
Yeah. And there's some other cool stuff in here that I got. They kind of they mix it up. You know what I mean? It's very useful. I'm not gonna show you everything because we're a lot of time, but I did want to show you this cool gold Batgirl right there.
That's awesome.
And then this, I love this because it's like Batman with a gun.
Ooh.
Like, what are you doing, Batman? You got a gun now? You know what I mean?
That?
It's like Batman on Fortnite. You know what I mean? I played Batman on Fortnite. He's got a gun. You know?
From '87.
Yeah. So pretty cool, man. So these guys run a really cool group. Again, it's geared towards if you want to collect, you want to start collecting, you can get some great prices on stuff.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
They help you out. If you have questions, you don't know what you're doing, you just ask them. You can send them a message. They'll message you on Facebook, say, "Hey, I saw you said this. You know, what did you mean? You know, figure it out." They'll meet you. Chris came to my work. Alfred met me at San Antonio College. Alfred actually did. I've met Alfred at San Antonio College in a previous auction, but this time he met Double A, gave him my stuff. I said we see each other every week.
So we met up. So we'll meet like a halfway point, and we can do it like that. So.
Yeah, Steve says here. He says thumbs up, and y'all have been shopping. Hey, that's cool. We can see the emojis now, or maybe some of them we can see.
Maybe
that's kind of cool. Update here on this system. But guys, yeah, we were doing some shopping there, Steve, and a lot of stuff to show. And I've got more stuff to show, but I couldn't bring it out because we'll be here forever.
It's just, you know, again, if you're a collector, these are kind of deals that you can't pass up. Hardcovers are just hard to come by. You know, CM, you know, he's collector of hardcovers, and that's a really great addition to his bookshelf. So I told him, I was like, wow, you got that one, the Blood Tie storyline.
Yeah,
I was like, that's fucking amazing.
So right there at the bottom, guys, please go check out
Facebook.
Invincible Comics and More. Search the group, try to get added. I think there might be a few questions, you know, like with our group, but you know, they'll let you in, and you can just browse the auctions. You don't have to buy anything; you can just browse your auctions. And if we're ever not on Friday, you can go into their auction, hang out. They have fun. They talk too. It's not just a straight auction. It's Alfred's really funny. He has a podcast also. I believe it's called Comic Book Collectors. Is there podcast? He runs it with another guy named Chris, not the guy that runs Invincible with him, but I heard their recent episode about Black Widow. It was really super funny. Those guys have Alfred has a great voice. He's a great talker. He's very, very friendly. You know, as is Chris. So go check it out. Before we get off here, Steve, earlier you mentioned Ohio. I want to talk about something really cool that came from Ohio, from our co-creator of our logo, guys. The logo, obviously, me and Double A had an idea. We told my girlfriend Jessica Ortega. She took our idea, as she does, and made it into actual art. Well, then from there, we had to get it digitized and sharpened and make it look like a logo. So for that, we went to this place, GraphX+ _ on Instagram. That's where you can find him. But the man's name is Justin Martin, and the man behind the mayhem over there. And he does a fantastic job. We've showed you his stuff before. And he just sent me these recently, guys. He was so eager to create these. He was so eager to send these. He sent them with me without me having to pay. He goes, you can pay me later. I've already paid him though. But he was like, I think this is so cool. It's based on the design. I had an idea for our YouTube. I said, man, it would be really cool if our background on our YouTube was our logo over and over again, like the Andy Warhol soup cans. So he was able to make that happen in all these colors. Well, then I said, you know what, man, I would like to get some color in our stickers. You know, our stickers are mainly white with the red logo. And I also got news from who co-does our music, Albert Olivares, Friday Nighter Albert Olivares, told me for some reason the mirror broke at Luchador and our sticker is missing now. So I've got to make my way out to Luchador and get a new sticker added. With that, I'm going to do this. But look at these beauties that Justin sent us. He's in Ohio as well.
It looks like green and red.
Yeah, it's all different colors. It's basically he took our soup can idea and turned it into sticker versions.
The yellow and black. Nice.
Yeah, so there's yellow and black, there's yellow and red, there's green and pink, there's yellow.
You're a fan of neon colors.
Yeah, I mean, it just totally vibes with our the background we have on YouTube. I have it as a background for us on our Facebook page as well. But I super love these. If you guys buy a t-shirt, don't forget we've got t-shirts. I always throw stickers in there. We've got some shirts right now. We've got the new Friday Night Faithful logo going. If you guys get one of these, I'm going to throw one of these stickers in there for you guys, for you to have. And if you let me know in advance, you can let me know which color you want. But I super adore these. Justin at Graphics Plus, thank you so very much, brother. They're amazing. More
thank you, Justin.
I'm going to definitely be ordering some more of these. I'm going to be carrying them around in my pocket for when I'm at a bar or a nightclub or a coffee shop. And I'm going to be sticking it on the tip jar or whatever, you know what I mean? And then let's see, one last thing, guys, before we get to our next big break. If you have gotten a message from me in your inbox and you're like, why is he sending us this video of his girlfriend? That video is my girlfriend, Jessica Ortega. She sells paparazzi jewelry. It's $5 jewelry, lead and nickel free. She has her own page called Trinket Truck. I would love, love, love it if you went and liked her page called the Trinket Truck. When she goes live on Facebook, she sells something for the ladies, guys. We do a lot of kind of male-centric stuff here. I know girls like what we talk about too, but sometimes the ladies, they like the costume type jewelry. That's what it is. It's very pretty. It's very inexpensive. Or if it's a gift for someone, maybe like a coworker or a friend or a teacher or, you know, someone that you don't know really that well, but you want to get them a little something nice. It's the perfect thing for that. It's very multi-purpose. You can do anything like that, but I'm asking you guys just to go like her page. When I'm sending you in your inbox is her live video when she goes live, when she's selling. There's always an opportunity to win a free piece of jewelry by the end. And I think I'm going to incorporate that into ours, Double A. We had wanted to do prizes for a while. I couldn't figure out how to do it. But what it is it says, watch till the end, drop a comment, and then you get a free prize. I think we're going to figure out some prizes, and we're going to incorporate that maybe into our show too. So guys, please go check out her Facebook page, like it, follow it, share it one time, share it with your female friends, your moms, your sisters, your aunts, but maybe your uncles too, or whatever. Like I said, it makes great gifts. It's multi-purpose, has a lot of different uses. So please go check out Jess over at facebook.com/trinket truck. Give the page a like. Again, $5 paparazzi jewelry, lead and nickel free. You can't beat it. We're trying to get out at some different like market thingies. You know, Tandem does the market days. Foxy Roxy over at Bang Bang Bar does the market days. And I just got noticed right now, guys, that Invincible Comics just went live with their auction. So now they still have our audience and compete with them that way. But yeah, so that's that. And there it is on the bottom, guys. Tonight, a little bit of a name change for Double A and myself to lead you into what we're talking about. Double A, you want to give us a little bit of a breakdown?
Yeah. So, the new movie's out, but, I wanted CM to kind of read, the 6-part origin story of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. See what his opinion, thought about, maybe increase his likeness for the character or characters. I told CM I think it's one of the better origin stories without giving too much still, so it's very interesting. It's a great piece for these two badasses,
Yeah, I've always loved the character. My favorite G.I. Joe, probably, I wouldn't say by far, but I mean, like, yeah,
for me, it's by far.
Yeah, but I mean, pretty good margin there. Like he was always the coolest looking, aside from his rival Storm Shadow, who always reminded me of like the Ninja Gaiden game, and just always was so badass and spoke so cool in the cartoon. And they were this light and dark colors. One wore all black, one wore all white, but the good guy wore all black and the bad guy wore all white. So it was like played with you in that way. And they, were equals, and they were both fucking super badass. I mean, I had this shirt long before I knew I was going to do an episode. In fact, I bought it also for Friday Night Holty Bear for his birthday. And I was like, I got to get one of those for myself. So I'm super excited. Was super excited to read these comic books. And I read them, and I even bought 2 of my own prior to reading the ones Double A gave me. I read these. I bought these other 2. I read those first, and I'm super excited to talk about it. I have not seen the movie yet. You have
I
seen the
have,
movie
but I'm not
already?
going to give any spoilers away.
Okay,
So
and no review either,
no
right?
review.
No review.
No.
We'll leave that for our buddies over at Now Watch This to go check it out
Yeah.
and watch it. If they can get to the theater, we know that they have issues sometimes actually getting to the theater. At least in Lucky's case. Sorry, Lucky, not putting a shot on you. We love you, bud. But guys, yeah, we're right up at that next break. So we'll take this break. We'll read through some more of your comments. Again, if you're joining us on Facebook Live, you know how we do it. Every 30 minutes, we'll take a break. We'll read your comments. We want to hear what you think about Snake Eyes, the character. There was other movies, he was in. He was in the cartoon. Were you a fan of him there in the cartoon? Did you read the comics? Were you a fan of the mainly Larry Hama written series?
Now in the comics, that's where you're seeing heavy Snake Eyes. That's a heavy Snake Eyes. Where in the cartoon, it's not really focused on him.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, you're focused on some of the other guys, and of course, Larry Hama. We're going to get into more about him. Very famous run, huge run on Wolverine.
Great guy. So
yeah, we've both met him. Wonderful guy, and we got some stuff to show you for our Facebook watchers. You'll get to see that. Also, please, guys, if you're not already subscribed to us on YouTube, go to YouTube and subscribe to us there so you can see the full unabridged version of the show. But for the rest of you listening, we'll be right back. Guys, if you're joining us live on Facebook, we didn't go anywhere. I just got to say that for our audio listeners right there, they hear a commercial break. I've been listening to us a lot on Spotify. I'm trying to catch up with our episodes. I'm barely on SA Rock City where we're talking about some of our concerts. And it's fun for me to listen back to it then and hear like, oh, I forgot. You know what I mean? Like, what we talked about then. Plus, I'm caught up on other comic books, other podcasts right now. So speaking of Justin in the house, Justin says, what does your shirt say, double A?
It says usually what CM ends it with.
Seize the day and do whatever it takes. That is what I usually say at the end of every show, Justin. And Justin, you're here. I don't know if you're here just in time, but you missed us throw up the Graphics Plus on Instagram, brother. And I showed off the stickers, man. Yeah, look, I was just showing everybody here, guys. Look at these amazing stickers that Justin made. If you saw the earlier part of the show, I don't know when Justin got here, but these are gorgeous. My girlfriend, my sister, and my nephew loved them right away. The colors are vibrant. They popped. They were like, "Can we have one?" I was like, "Man, I only got so many, but I guess." And then, of course, I say that, and then I steal like 2 or 3 for myself. So the rest will be getting stuck on somewhere or in your T-shirt order, guys. Order a T-shirt from us. If you don't order it now. This is on if you buy it from me, I give you a sticker. If you buy it from me, I give you a sticker. But if you order it on 3leggedrabbit.com, you don't get anything because I don't have control over that. That goes to a third party. But if you're buying it from me, like I said, we got the new Friday Night Faithful logo. I will put a sticker in there with it when I give it to you or sell it to you or package it and mail it to you because I did mail some out not that long ago. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, man, looked like Justin was here in the house. The man himself.
Justin, thank you so much.
Yeah, we really appreciate that, man. He says, "Hell yeah, I need to make more and a shirt like that too." Yeah, I'm sure this was from our cousin Alexandria's Creations.
And I'm sorry, Ali. I know you changed your name.
I know. Yeah, the name changed.
When it was Alexandria's Sweet Treats and Creations, and
I think she was doing cakes and T-shirts, which is a great combo in my opinion. But she did this one for us real quick because that's what I say.
I asked her if I could, and it was supposed to be a surprise for CM. So because
I
was like, that's this became like his phrase. So,
yeah. So yeah, Justin, we took Seize the Day. Double A gave me that because that's from Dead Poet Society. Dead Poets of Robin Williams. And we love that line. I also love Captain, my Captain. Which is from the book they're reading, but do whatever it takes. Captain America in the Endgame trailer, and then in the movie, when they're going back in time, they've got to, save half the, universe. Cap says we got one chance. You got to do whatever it takes. So we love that. Yeah, so very, very cool. Jessica is in the house. What's up, Jess? She says, "Seize the day." How you doing, hun? And then Jessica says, "Glad you guys love him." Yeah, man, totally. Justin again is up in Ohio, guys, but you can find him on Instagram. Send him a message on there at Graphics Plus right here. I got it down at the bottom in the corner, and let him know, hey man, love your logos and see what you need. And you go give a like to the picture he put up of our stickers, of our logo. So very rad, a man of many talents. Great prices, everything like that. I mean, it's wonderful. Again, without him, we would not have the sharpened version of the logo that we have. He took Jessica's drawing, a hand-drawn drawing, and made it into what it is. And he's made a couple of different versions. So there's like 3 versions that come from Justin, and then we have the kind of one version we get from Deuces Mercado with Annie over there. So much stuff, guys. We love all that. But let's see. What else? I think that's it on the comments. I've already asked you guys to check out. Check us out if you haven't checked us out already. You should be following us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, all at JAFN Podcast. I did put this one of the stickers, Justin, on our podcast today. I put it on my water bottle I keep at work, and I had to steal a red one for that one and slap it on there. So that's in our TikTok. I was also I'm learning from this guy on TikTok. He makes TikToks and he teaches you how to use TikTok. So some people do like this robot voice. He taught me how to do the robot voice thing. So that's pretty cool. Okay. But Double A, there's nothing else. Should we get right on into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it, man.
All right, let's do it. Guys, sorry I was a little bit later of the show today.
Justin, thank you again.
Yes, man. Appreciate sincere thanks. Thank you so much for hanging in there too, being with us tonight.
Did you read Steve where he said, yeah, sweet, I need one for my ice cooler?
Oh, yeah. No, I did not see that, Steve. Yeah. We'll definitely get you taken care of, Steve. No problem, brother. You know that we will. We know that you're a proud supporter, man, for sure. Okay, let's see what we got here. If we are good to go on this part, and we are. So let me bring us back in for our audio listeners. And guys, let's start the show and talking about one of our favorite characters, our favorite Joe.
Yeah, the origins of Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
All right, let's do it, brother. All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Again, if you're listening to us on the audio version, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere like that, you know that we take a little break every 30 minutes so that we can talk with you, read your comments, and hear what you have to say, add to the show. What was your week like in pop culture? I can tell you something exciting happened today in pop culture, and I cannot wait to talk to this guy and all of you about it next week. Maybe we'll bring it up at the end so that way you guys can watch it too and then talk about it with us next week.
Yeah.
But tonight is all about, he's got a movie coming out tonight. It's what is it called? G.I. Joe Origins Snake Eyes?
Yeah, it's the Snake Eyes, kind of like G.I. Joe Origins. It's like I think Marvel's done that.
The Fox.
I'm sorry, not Star Wars. Oh. The Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Solo, a Star Wars story. Yeah. So it's kind of like that.
And Fox did X-Men Origins Wolverine.
That's right. Yeah. So, this movie's kind of supposed to kind of like be the origin of him and Storm Shadow, how he got his training, and all that background. So, I saw it, it's out. Go check it out if you're a G.I. Joe fan, so. And
it's theater only, right? There's no streaming on this one.
I didn't see it on streaming. So.
Okay. Did you have to twist the wife's arm to that? You're like, I want to go see it.
No, she likes going out to movies. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So
sometimes when I go to movies with my lady, it's like, what do you want to see?
She just likes going out and eating the popcorn. And shit like that.
She knows I've always got something on deck. Like, well, I really want to see this. But sometimes she's like, what about this? And I'm like, oh.
No, my wife's great with it.
I hate to say it, but it's like I kind of don't care to go to the movies unless it's something I want to see, which is very dickish. You know what I mean? But are you? Have you ever gone to the theater and there's nothing showing Double A, and you're like, oh, just watch whatever? You're probably like, no, I'll just leave. No. Yeah, it's like I go because I want to see something. You know what I mean? So, I didn't even know about that new M. Night movie. I knew about it because I heard Joe and Lucky's podcast. Now watch this, and they mentioned it. I went and watched the trailer right away.
Son of a bitch, because it came out the same day. Today, like Snake Eyes. So I was like, shit. But we are talking about Snake Eyes, and we're kind of going to prepare you for the movie. IDW did this really cool, badass 6-part origin story of Snake Eyes. Mm-hmm. It's called Snake Eyes Declassified, and pretty much it shows how him and Storm Shadow got together. Cobra, the foundations of Cobra are also kind of explained here. Them getting set up, Zartan, his origin too. You can say it's an origin of Zartan in some ways too, little ways, not a whole lot. But yeah, Zartan's a major player here. Commander is kind of like a background character. We see the Baroness in this comic, in this 6-parter. But again, it's really focused on Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot of the Snake Eyes was not created by Larry Hama. Larry Hama, very famous comic book writer.
There was a G.I. Joe toy line that already had this.
Hasbro, right?
Yeah, and pretty much Marvel. I think they asked Marvel, hey, can you do something with this? Can you kind of, do more of a background, So they got Larry Hama. He was an editor. He was working at Marvel, and he had been wanting to do kind of a war story. Mm-hmm. He even had one. It was going to be called the Fury or something, the Fury Team or something. So, they gave him G.I. Joe. They were like, you want to do G.I. Joe? He's like, yeah. Larry Hama is a veteran, a Vietnam veteran, served. He's an actor too. He made a few appearances on MASH, and
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Really?
other TV shows. So you got almost like the perfect guy to scribe, write, do the backgrounds, do the origins, all that. So so while these were created by other people, Larry Hama's the one that made the characters that you love and know. He's the one that wrote all that down.
I would almost say, like, I'm kind of becoming a fan of saying, like, made famous by, because we always talk about like Wolverine with Chris Claremont, Silver Surfer with Stan Lee. It's like this character was made famous by this person.
Yeah,
without them, they aren't
Joe
the essence.
Doesn't exist without Larry Hama.
So AA gave me the 6 issues because we had just been talking about our love for Snake Eyes off air. This is months ago before we thought we were going to do an episode. And to be honest with you, AA, the movie kind of flew under the radar to me. Like, I didn't know they were making a movie.
Yeah,
like
me neither. I didn't know until maybe 2 months ago. Because
I would have got way more geeks for it. And I love the way that Ray Park looked in the costume. And now, would you say the costume was comparable in this one? It looked neat?
They only showed it once, but it was great.
Okay.
It was good.
Interesting.
It looked like the comic. So
okay. So there's that. So AA had lent me some comic books, and it included some of the old Marvel ones, and then it included the 6-part series that were kind of focused on Snake Eyes Declassified. Now the older ones he lent me were from Marvel, but I was looking at the numbers, and I had been reading up on Snake Eyes. What would be some good issues to get? So I bought 2 of my own. I'm going to show those to you here, and we'll probably post these pictures too. So these are supposedly in the G.I. Joe comic books the origin of Snake Eyes, the strangest secret of all. And you see the file there.
And again, this is pretty much all created by Larry Hama.
And even everything you see on this particular cover, which is of G.I. Joe number 26, is a lot of story being told in here. And then this is the one after it, issue 27. And of course, who do you get there but the main rival and Storm Shadow? You know what I mean? So I was like, well, you know what? I'm going to read them in order that they kind of came out. So I read these 2 that I bought first. Then I read the ones that AA provided me, which was really cool. Because did you remember that in one of those, J. Jonah's at the end? J. Jonah Jameson's at a newsstand, and he's like, oh, where's the bugle at? And they're like, we don't sell that rag here. He's like, what are you talking about, rag? You know what I mean? And then right then, like, the Joes fall on them and all this stuff. And I was like, what the fuck? J. Jonah's in this book or whatever. So it's like they really have it like the G.I. Joes are part of the Marvel Universe at this time. Now, I've heard this about some of the toy companies, AA, but like the reason why a property doesn't, like the Transformers, doesn't stay with like Marvel or whatever for a long time is because it's too expensive for them to retain the license.
It probably is, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure the value goes up. They want more, probably.
Because I never heard of this company that produced the Declassified series. Who is it?
IDW?
Oh, it's IDW?
Yeah.
Let me see the quarter, because I thought it was something else. Or did they take over?
Or DDP.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. But I think it may be someone ends up owning the rights, I think, of that. But
I've known that when it first came back, Image had it for a while. Then
right.
IDW did have it for a while.
Maybe even Dark Horse had the Joes.
I'm pretty sure, maybe.
I'm just thinking of the people that had the Transformers at one time. Like everybody had the Transformers.
But the definitive run has always been the Marvel run. That's always the definitive run. Right. Even here, even this comic, it says based on the works of Larry Hama.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much, So, and in issue 21, the silent issue is probably the most favorite G.I. Joe. That is the first appearance of Storm Shadow. And you don't know nothing about Storm Shadow, nothing about Snake Eyes. It's a mission. It's a silent issue. There's no words. At the very end is the big reveal. Both of them have been fighting. They're equal. They're on equal terms. And you see the unwrapping of Storm Shadow's hand, his arm right here, where he has a tattoo. And then you also see Snake Eyes in another cut. They have the same tattoo, and you're like, holy shit, these guys are part of the same clan. They're part of the same group. They have history, and he just leaves it like that. And you're just like, holy shit, so people I wanted to know more. So
it was very cool. So the story I know about that issue, do you know this part? We talked about it before on this, but it wasn't meant to be a silent issue. There was script, but something went wrong with the printer and all the bubbles with all the words didn't come out.
No, I didn't know that.
So it's just panels of pictures, you know what I mean? And it became very famous being known as a silent issue.
It's great. It actually works.
It works. I read that one before I read these 2 because that issue is before this. Mine, I think it said is issue 26. And then that one is issue 21. So when AA lent it to me, and I went there. I was like, man, it really does read well, and it makes, and you're left on that cliffhanger with seeing
and that cliffhanger is great. That's like a really you can feel the intensity. It's like holy shit.
And if you guys know what we're talking about, this symbol is very famous, especially in the Joe world, and especially with these two guys. But it's the two solid lines.
Let me try and reach it. Hold
on. Two solid lines, a single line, two solid lines, single line. So you know what I mean. So, and you can. This is a great picture of it right here on the cover of issue 1 of Declassified. Right, now, can you say the name of the tribe, Double A?
You know, and they said it throughout a lot in the movie, and I still can't do it justice. Yeah, I'm not going to try. So
Arishikaje?
Yes, it kind of sounds like that.
Arishikaje. Arishikage.
In the movie, they said Kage.
Okay, that might be more right. So the Arishikage tribe is the tribe of, not tribe, but family. The clan.
The ninja clan. Yeah.
Storm Shadow's clan.
Hard master, soft master, you know, all that great jazz. You know?
Yeah, and all that is in, you know, these issues that I had bought and read. And then I read Double A's issues, and it's like, man, there's like all this.
It's pretty much a reprint,
cool
almost,
stuff,
just with a little bit added stuff. Maybe you can consider them deleted scenes almost.
Yeah.
You know?
So when I got to Declassified last night, I'm reading it or whatever. Guys, if I read stuff 2 weeks out, I won't remember. So I got to read it like 2 to 3 days before. So I'm reading it last night, and I was like, oh damn! Like I literally just read this. Some of the stuff is panel for panel from Larry Hama, although they credit another guy with writing. You know what I mean? And the art's redone or whatever, and some people might like that art better. It's a little too clean for me. Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? But some of the images are very good in there, but then some of the other ones are better in the older issues.
No, I get you. You know, like I'm a bigger fan of Rob Liefeld's art in the 80s more than where it is now. That looks.
How about that series
clean.
he just did, right? Deadly Game.
Yes, which I
mean those covers are, that's the fucking best Snake Eyes is gonna look. Except for inside these Declassifieds, the inner cover on the first one is this beautiful image of Snake Eyes by Tim Bradstreet, who I showed you earlier, did the Punisher cover.
Let me see if I can show it out.
It is. I was like, I kept looking at it. I was going back to it to look at it. I was like, this has got to be my favorite image of fucking Snake Eyes I've ever seen. He looks so badass. So
it looks
gritty.
real. Like you can almost like feel and smell that. You know,
the gun oil, the way the flak jacket, like everything.
I'm not really, I can't really give you guys a good look.
Yeah, I'll post it up. I'll post it up for sure. There's a very good chance that will be the cover photo of the group because I love it so much. Although I downloaded several images to use. You guys know I change the cover of the group every time for whatever we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So for me, I was like, oh man, I wonder if Double A knows that like these issues kind of tell the same story. But again, he's right. It does have a little bit of other intricacies that I'm like,
and not just that, but you know, those two issues are only probably a little bit. There is another issue which I told TM it's like way further in that it kind of goes to the deeper end. But I was like, these 6 issues kind of just put it nice where you can just read it straight. You know?
Yeah. Now, hard to find Double A that older issue. The one you're talking about?
No, I don't think so.
Probably pretty good.
No,
I got these pretty good price.
The only 2 Joe ones that really should be hard to get are issue 1 and issue 21. That's really the only 2 that you should probably have.
And I think I have had trouble with that 21 before.
Oh yeah, the silent issue, forget it. That's like reached legendary status now.
So let's get into it, Double A. Let's talk about the story of. We'll mainly go with Snake Eyes Declassified, right? We're focusing on those 6 issues because essentially the stories.
Because like I say, if you're going to see the movie, you're going to kind of need to know somewhat.
And what these guys did was they tightened it up. Like so again, there was 2 issues that I got. Then there's that issue 21, and then there's that. And so they kind of. I guess what this guy does is he kind of comes in like an editor of a movie and kind of clipped it all together in this 6-parter.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, and he made it, you know, streamlined. I don't know if I would have given him a writing credit. I mean, I think he definitely deserved to give Larry Hama credit because some of the panels are word for word, image for image.
Yeah, I mean everything. He, like I said, he does give Hama credit.
And you know who has this tattoo? Our good friend Bobby over at Toy Matrix. He's got the Arishikage tattoo, on his arm. Nice. I always thought that's a pretty sweet tattoo.
It's cool. It's iconic. Everyone knows it. So especially if you're a kid from the 80s.
Let's get it, Double A. Let's get it together. It's gonna be on the right arm, they say. But okay, so we start out now in the older G.I. Joe books. It's Nam. They're the gentlemen are fighting it in Vietnam. But in
this one, I'm just
it's kind of vague.
Yeah, they're in some war, maybe.
And Double A for us, this series is from the Declassified is from '04.
Yeah, it's from the early 2000s. So
Snake Eyes Declassified. This is very cool.
But
is this hard to find? Can you find this?
No. When it came out, I got it when it came out monthly.
Okay.
So it wasn't like a hard issue.
I would definitely like a trade.
And GI Joe's never really sold too much, so I mean these were real easy to get.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, put this in my box, Mario, please, and that was it. So
now the figures. That's a different story right there.
No.
You're in trouble.
I'm not a figure.
If you're like, I want an original Snake Eyes from the little 3.5-inch figures of the first ones that came out. Good luck, because yeah. But should we start out with three guys?
So you kind of see Snake Eyes already. It's he's an American dude. He's a white, blue eye, blonde hair, idealistic young man.
Mm-hmm.
Family, normal family, nothing wild, nothing crazy,
Yeah,
just
he's
solid American guy.
Yeah. He's close with them. Obviously, the dad,
especially the sister. Him and his sister
are very tight. Now,
which you probably can identify with.
I could definitely identify with that, and they mentioned that in the old ones, and they mentioned it in this one. But here's what I didn't like: Double A. They don't really go into why they're tight.
No.
It's hard to understand the relationship because they don't develop it. They don't flesh it out. They just say that they're close. I think they say they're twins.
Yes.
So they're like, they
that's
try to get you to ride on the fact that like, if you're bonded by a twin, but if you're not, the way I would have done it, and I'm not going to and I'm some kind of writer, right? But I would have,
CM would have done it, Larry Hama.
Here's how you go, right? What I mean is that, sometimes you need something to make you understand why they're so close. I don't know. Maybe he saves her life somehow or something like that, or beats up the bully or whatever, something like that. It takes a small something to endear you to the character's relationship, because otherwise it doesn't really you don't feel for them. I don't have a twin, so I don't know what that feels like. I don't even have a brother. I have my sister, so that relationship I can relate to, but we're not twins though. So it's like, you just get the impression that they're close. In fact, the dad even tells him, I think in the beginning he's going to go off to war. He's like, I don't really know what to tell you or whatever. Yeah. You know what I mean? So all right. So then what happens, Double A? They go off.
Yeah. So he's in war and he's kind of like a loner, and it's a whole bunch of groups. There's like about one or two future Joes that are in
Stalker's
this group.
There.
Stalker. And
Tommy. We get to meet Tommy.
Kind of. And we see the bond there. It's a little tight group. Again, I don't think it really mentions where, right? They're at.
Not in the Declassified.
Right? Yeah. No. Okay. So you're just assuming, they're just at war and they're kind of taking it easy, and they get into a gunfight, right?
They do, yeah.
Where he saves Tommy.
What do you go ahead?
Right.
Well, the way I remember, so again, because I read both in one day. So in the original, it's just Stalker, Tommy, and Snake Eyes. They're calling him Snake Eyes at that point or whatever. Mm-hmm. Oh, in fact, what's cool about Declassified is they kind of tell you where the name comes from, because the dad says, you gamble long enough, you're going to come up with Snake Eyes. And then it's like, you're like, oh, Snake Eyes. Because I don't think they ever say what his real name is. Although it's on his card, right? It's on his G.I. Joe, the card. From the
I don't think it is.
No, it isn't?
I think it's all classified with him. It's always classified.
Okay, interesting. If somebody else knows, correct me.
They just called him Snake Eyes.
Yeah, and that's how it is in the other ones. They call him Snake Eyes throughout. So, but they don't tell you why. But in this one, Declassified, they do. The dad says it in the first page. So also, in the original one, it's just Stalker, Snake Eyes, and Tommy. Well, in the Declassified, it's like a group of 6. So it's Stalker, Tommy, Snake Eyes, and 3 other guys. And the guys are complaining to Stalker, because he's the sergeant, and they're telling him man, that guy's weird, man. I don't trust that guy out in a battle or whatever. And you're right. Something happens. A firefight breaks out, and it's Tommy that goes back for Snake Eyes. Because something happens, and he jumps off the fucking helicopter, and he's like, no, I'm gonna go get him. And they're like, no, don't get off. They're about to bomb it out, and he gets off anyway, and he goes and runs to get Snake Eyes. And all the men are amazed. They're like, man, he's dodging bullets. I've never seen anyone move like that.
So we already know Storm Shadow already has some sort of training, but at this point he's just as much as a mystery to the guys. They don't know he's from this ninja clan.
So we're calling him Tommy, but Tommy is Storm Shadow. That's what we're gonna. So he saves Snake Eyes' life first. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's right.
And then kind of quickly they get back from war, right? Because he gets fucked up. He gets like,
yes, he does, and like Tommy's doing some ninja shit to him while he's recuperating. You know, and he's making like almost like Snake Eyes go like into like a kind of like a dream world almost while he recovers, you know, like making him not focus on the pain too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and he's like, man, what the hell did you do to me? You know, like it was nice, you know, it was real nice. And yeah, they kind of bond, you know, and they part ways, you know, it's going home time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, Snake Eyes, he's supposed to be picked up by his family. You know, he's super excited to see him, especially his sister. You know, he's just like, you know, I'm going home. I'm happy, you know, and he gets the news saying that his family just got killed in a car accident, you know?
Yeah.
And it just devastates the man. Just, you know, it's brutal. And it kind of ends on that cliffhanger. So, you know, right off the bat, you know, this first issue, we kind of, you know, get kind of like an idea of him. You know, he's kind of a loner, but he bonds really well with Tommy, Storm Shadow. You know, they're buddies, they're army buds, you know, military buds, you know. They have a really good tight relationship, and you see that he was super close with his family, Snake Eyes. And so when they, you know, he gets the news, you know, it's like, golly, you know, so now you know something about the man, a little bit more personal about the man. He had a family, and he got killed in a car accident.
Yeah, and even I think in the original and in Declassified, when in Declassified it's kind of cool because you never meet the sister in the originals, but in Declassified you do, and she goes, "Here, take this picture of me." She's like, "Maybe it'll bring you good luck." She's like, "You had been asking me for a picture or whatever," you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Oh, I kind of get that. That's kind of cool, whatever," you know what I mean? And when I first saw it in the originals, it's like he's just kind of looking at the picture, and I was like, "Oh, that's probably his girl or whatever," you know. But that's kind of the typical way they go. So I kind of like that they mixed it up and made it like something other than the obvious, like, oh, you know, the love at home or whatever. They made it, you know, oh, it was his sister. She told him, "Keep this picture of me to bring you good luck." So, in fact, fucking when he's getting fucking blown up and Storm Shadow rescues him, Tommy rescues him, he drops the picture or whatever, and gets a bullet hole through it. He needs it. Well, Storm Shadow recovers it for him. So that happens in Declassified also. You know, the picture's there. So it makes it, I guess maybe that's meant to be the moment that endears you, like, oh, they were really close. He kept this picture of her, and it was supposed to bring him luck. And well, it didn't bring them luck because they fucking died.
Well, not her, but for Snake Eyes it did. So
yeah. So now here's where Declassified kind of veers off from what I read in the comic books that were available to me, unless there's another side story somewhere. But Tommy comes to find him, and he's pretty much down in the dumps. In fact, in Declassified, he's in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
he's bad looking, just terrible.
He's at a bar, he's drinking,
disheveled, you know, everything.
Yeah, it makes me want to drink, right? Double A. You need to reload there.
Yeah, I do. Reload.
So he's drinking at the bar, and Tommy comes in.
He's trying to help me. He's like, man, come with me. You know, I can, you know, we can fix you up. You know, this ain't you. You know, and he's just, Snake Eyes just ain't having it, man. He's, you know, he lost his family. He's just not having it. He doesn't want to deal with Tommy. Doesn't want to talk to Tommy. Pretty much just blows him off.
Yeah, and what's Tommy offering, Double A? He's like, why don't you come with me? Come with me to Japan.
There's nothing here for you anymore.
Yeah, he's like, you know, we can, you know, he's like, maybe, you know, you can find something with me or whatever.
Yeah.
And in the originals, the older comics, he says, Tommy does tell him, he's like, oh man, you know, like you gotta, you know, when we get out of here, I'm gonna go work in my family business, and you can come be a part of the family business too, or whatever, if you want, because we're like brothers. In the older comics, you get the impression they've already been on a couple of tours together. They're familiar with each other, and they're already real tight.
He's someone that Tommy knows that he can trust this guy. When all else fails, Snake Eyes is a guy you can count on.
Yep.
He's gonna have your back for sure.
Yep.
And he's probably gonna end up saving your ass too.
And you get the impression too that Snake Eyes is like your stereotypical classic good soldier. He's your ideal soldier, your keep his nose clean soldier, a guy that you would want by your side as far as being just a regular good soldier. Maybe he's not I don't think he's not anything special yet.
No.
You know, but he's just a good.
But he's really good at what he does.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, you know, kind of out of sight, out of mind, very Snake Eyes-ish. It's like, you know, he doesn't make any trouble, doesn't make any waves. He's just a regular average Joe.
A lot different compared to what he would become much later.
Right. Regular average Joe.
We need where we need this guy.
Yeah. So
so then he runs into who? CM after that.
well,
After
he
blows off.
he runs into this guy. So in Declassified, this threw me off because I was like, who's this random? Like, what's going on? The story's veering now from what I had already knew. Because pretty much up to that point, I was like, this shit is like page for page the Larry Hama story. And I'm like, okay, here's where it's gonna change. So I'm like, there's this guy. This guy's like, hey, why don't you come with me and like let's hang out and do stuff. But it was just like so weird. Like it was presented. It would be like if right now a guy walked in this room and just like sat down and was like, hey, y'all doing the podcast? I'll podcast with y'all. We're gonna talk about comic books. Wouldn't you be like, who the fuck are you? Like, get the fuck out of my house. That's how it felt in the book. Like there was the guy wasn't drinking in the bar with him. There was like no nothing. Like he didn't meet him at his job. It was like so random. And he's just like down in the dumps. He's like, yeah, I'll go with you. And what do they start doing? Like, are they doing?
It looks like a lot of like bad shit,
like kind of crime and shit. Yeah. And he's like, Snake Eyes throws a trash can through a window, and he's like, "Whoa,
Snake,
I'm tired of just fucking people or whatever."
Yeah, he's just fucked up, and this guy's pretty much just using him. And there comes a moment where he tells him to execute a man, and Snake Eyes is like, "No, I'm not going to do it. This ain't what I'm fucking all about."
And the guy kind of tells him, he's like, "Oh, well, like throwing trash cans through the window is one thing," which I thought too was kind of sophomoric. I was like, "What is this, like fucking high school shit?" Like I don't know. I just felt like that part could have been written better or tighter, or like, you could even have him falling in with the wrong crowd, so to speak, and then being like, I don't know, doing robberies or something like that. But it was like, more like petty vandalism.
But it doesn't really get too much into it. But I'm pretty sure because they do have like grenades and guns, so it does show that they're going to be up to that they.
Maybe they were gun running or whatever.
Yeah. So
I mean, you got to have him doing lines, like fucking. You got to have him with the bottle, like you got to have women around. Like you got to show him that he's really fucked up, and that this other guy's a real bad guy. You need to have that other guy like making deals with old ladies on their mortgage, and then like fucking ripping them off. Like you got to make him a real scumbag. You know what I mean? Like, so they didn't really do that, but
you can just tell. You can tell that he went with this dude. This dude's up to no good. It's leading him down a direction that he almost would not have came back from, especially when he tells him to execute some guy.
Yes.
Now you know that this guy is
too extreme,
too fucking extreme,
and he walks away.
He walks away.
Now he does say something though, right?
Yeah.
The guy does say something. What does he say? He says something along the lines of this, where he says, "Your family got killed in a car accident, and so did my brother." And I think that this is how it is in Declassified. I correct me if I'm wrong.
It is.
I read
it is.
And he says, this is the bartender, I think, or whoever
that got him.
He got my brother drunk.
Again, twisted, twisting everything.
He made he didn't cut my brother off. He let my brother drive, and then he ran into a family and killed him, which was your family, Snake Eyes. And so you're like, what the fuck? I should be mad at your brother, motherfucker, but he's dead too. So it's like random. Like, let's blame this guy. It's execution style murder this guy that was the bartender,
just twisting everything up.
Yeah, like essentially, like, let me get this guy to kill or whatever. You know what I mean? So Snake Eyes doesn't kill. He walks off. He leaves that guy, and then you get the impression of that. Now this guy's pissed off or whatever, right? So fast forward.
Yeah, then he meets up with Tommy again, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to take you up on that fucking offer. Let's go. I don't have nothing here. There's nothing holding me here. I'm ready to do whatever it is that you say. You want me to help you with
whatever it takes?
Yeah, whatever it takes.
He's right on the shirt.
He's like, you want me to help you, with the family business? I'm there.
Yeah.
And Tommy's like super excited.
Yes.
He's like, fuck yeah. Yeah. So yeah, he zooms him off. He's like, all right, come on. And then that's where Snake Eyes kind of finds out the truth a little bit about Tommy, about what exactly the family business is. Okay.
Yeah.
So they arrive in Tokyo, and yeah, it's he gets introduced to the hard master, soft master, finds out who Tommy really is. He's pretty much almost the second in line to this whole ninja clan, this centuries old ninja clan.
Tommy the young master.
Yeah. And some ninjas just pop out of nowhere, and Snake Eyes is like, Tommy, what the hell? What the hell is this?
It's very cool. It's very cool. It's almost like fucking, you're a wizard, Harry. You know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck? Guys, come on. Imagine you go hang out with your bro at his house, and then he's like, by the way, I'm a fucking ninja. You'd be like, this is the best day fucking ever. I was like, whoa, cool. That's pretty cool. And that's his uncle. The hard master is his uncle.
Yes, it is.
And I guess the Soft Master is his uncle too, because he says that that's his brother.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah. Yeah.
So they're there, and then he's like, okay, well, what's up? And then it's like pretty much like, well, Tommy, the young master, is like, well, I'm eventually going to be, I'm in line. So, train with us, whatever, and become like us.
And he's telling everyone too, because everyone's kind of hesitant. They're like, he's an outsider.
He's a Westerner. Mm-hmm.
Tommy's like, no, this guy is great. Forget about all that shit. Forget about being American. Forget about being a Westerner. He's a good guy. He's someone I can trust. I've served with this guy. We've been the shit together. I've saved it. We've saved each other's lives.
Yeah.
Trust me, this guy is great. You're going to love him.
Yeah.
So
Tommy seems like a real stand-up guy. He saved Snake Eye's life.
Yes.
He's been in battle with this guy. He has tried to help him twice. And on the second time he accepts, get him out. I mean, like, I'm just like, man, you're like a good brother. Like, you're a good brother. Now, here's what I did not like, Double A. And I know that the movie's different. Right. And it's just, and I know that this is a different time. And I'm actually surprised that Larry Hama kind of wrote it this way. But maybe he didn't have a choice. But I don't know if when Snake Eyes was created, they showed what he looked like under the mask, whatever. But I am not a fan of the Last Samurai, where it's like Tom Cruise and I did.
No. I did read about that, and he was a little bit pissed. He wanted to make him Asian, but then apparently they said that Storm Shadow was going to be Asian, and so he got pissed about that, and he made Snake Eyes American on purpose, I think.
Oh,
so I read that Larry Hama he did that on purpose.
Okay, very interesting.
So that's all from Larry Hama,
and that's
everything he looks.
That's kind of good to know, because I did not necessarily like that I was like, why couldn't he make him Asian American? Yeah. Like, I would have liked that a little bit better. But
that was Larry Hama.
Guys, we're right up at our next break. We're right at where Snake Eyes is at, and then we'll get right back into the story. You're going to hear probably nothing, and then we'll be right back into it. Guys, if you're with us here on Facebook Live hanging out, we appreciate you being here. We're having some cold brews, Double A. I think Double A is also watching the Invincible Comics and More auction.
Just making sure I'm not missing it.
You are. Guys, go give them a like, follow, share, join their group. Don't watch their auction over watching us. Chris is going to hear this and be like, what? But no, I mean, that's cool. You can watch us later. We're not selling anything live. We're not in an auction. So, so long as you watch us and subscribe to us on YouTube, I don't give a shit. But let's check out the comments. People are hanging out. Who watched today, guys? Who's here? What's going on? Oh, Gabe Flores in the house. What's up, Gabe? Gabe, you're one of the few people besides Mario whose name is actually in one of the titles of our episodes, where your name is there. Like, it's like, it says pressing the issue with Gabe Flores. So, my man Jason Ruiz in the house with a classic. What's up, bro? What's up, Jason? Welcome, man. Thank you. I know we've been messaging kind of all week, and here we are on Friday night again. And sorry, man, if I'm not responsive enough, as I'm usually like at work during the day. But is there something that you need, something that you had a question about? We're here now. You said, what's going on this weekend? Hey, who's having the Predator? The actor that played.
That was last week.
Oh, that was at Andy's. Okay, yeah. I'm all fucked up after vacation.
It was weird because it was actually on Friday.
Really? Were they open?
I don't know. I was like, this Trader's open on, like, did they have like a little special thing on that Friday? I was like, okay. So
you got anything for Jason this week? Anything going on?
No,
I haven't heard of nothing. There's not
gonna be kind of quiet.
Hill Country's not this week.
Next month is gonna be all the shit.
We got Ekman's Hill Country.
Yeah, next month is gonna be the heavy duty stuff.
The Celebrity Fan Fest kicks off. So I don't got nothing for you this week. Jason, I would tell you to join Invincible Comics, the group, and check out some auctions, man. I think we have seen some Hulk stuff in there before. Red Hulk, She-Hulk.
Well, you know what? Even if you don't, Albert told me this personally, the guy that kind of runs this shit. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Tell me what your characters are," and he goes, "We have like a deep stock. We can set you up. We can start putting stuff like that." Like I told him, I was into the Dark Horse Presents. And this week I saw he was going to actually have some. So I was like, damn, okay. So he took what I said literally. So
Alfred is a great guy, just like Mario,
so
Jason.
I'm
glad. If you need something, let me know, let Double A know, or we can definitely turn you on to that group and you can check it out. Like the way you joined our group, the Friday Night Faithful. And then once you're in there, you'll see their stuff they're selling, man. And not everybody does it like Alfred, where you got to be on Facebook Live. Like I said, Chris posts up a lot of just pictures. And if you see, they'll tell you the price, $4, $5, you want to get it. I know you said you saw She-Hulk for some crazy price. these guys, they'll help you out. They're very, very cool, man. Very good. Like Mario, we showed a bunch of their cool stuff earlier. Some guy named Joe Martinez here.
Joe, what's up, Joe?
What up, Joe? Joe said he was going to show up and bring us stickers. Because now watch this with Lucky and Joe has stickers now. I have a Space Joe on my Yeti cup and on my bottle. Ready for my now watch this sticker. I might see you tomorrow. We'll see what's up.
From what I've seen, Joe's been pretty damn busy. So
yeah, man, he's too busy. He doesn't even come hang out no more, man.
No, I mean, with his boys, it looked like they just capped off their baseball season, Joe. I think I saw that.
They're the champs.
Yeah, man, that's awesome.
Yeah. Joe, what do you think about the Cleveland Guardians? Where are you at on that? What is that? Cleveland Indians, no more double A.
Oh shit! No, really, I didn't know that.
That came out today. They released a video. It was big news.
So no tomahawk chop.
No sir.
Damn.
No sir. Get your copy now of
so they finally gone after the other teams. Finally,
get your copy of Major League Now, the original, because pretty soon they're just gonna dub it over with I was like, wow, there it is. Yeah, so I bet that gear is gonna start going up. Did you see the crazy baseball play, the foul play where the guy got ejected? The ball hit the line. The ball they thought it hit the line, but it didn't.
Okay.
And the like three runs came in, and all the other team kind of stopped because they were like, and the dude got ejected. I can't remember what game it was, but I actually messaged it to Joe. I was like, hey, what did you see? Because it looked fucking crazy.
Damn.
It's rare when I get into like baseball like that. But yeah. Also, how about congrats, Fear the Deer, right? Congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis, how about that name? Which name is harder to say? The name of the Snake Eyes clan or the...
I just call him Greek Freak.
Greek Freak.
50 points, 10 rebounds, 5 blocks.
Giannis.
Man, he, after losing the first two, won 4 straight, and I love the post-conference afterwards where he was like, you know what? I don't need to go to no super team. I'm here for the team. I can do it by myself. I don't need to join 2-3 other superstars, and I was like, wow. He goes, that's an easy way out. I did mine the hard way.
I gotta admit something though. I knew of Giannis, but I was really fond of Antetokounmpo. I think I'm saying it right, or Antetokounmpo. Shit, I fucking dumb. Anyway, after this, I was proud of the guy. I was like, yeah, good job. I didn't know he'd been in the league 8 years.
I could have sworn, man, because I remember when he came in and just all the buzz that came with him, and they were predicting already when he came in, it was like championship contenders right off the bat. I didn't realize already he had been 8 years. I was like, holy shit. I was like, damn, I only thought maybe 4 or 5 years. I was like, damn, he's already been there for 8.
Yeah. I started watching some stuff on YouTube. I really liked it. I liked the vibe I got from him. I almost got like a Timmy-ish vibe from him. So that's always a good thing. But let me tell you, man, when you posted that up on our group with your brother, and your brother said it before I could say it, he goes, your brother, Friday Nighter Boy, famous from our NBA episode, said, fuck, I'm even a bigger fan of this guy now because of that line. What you just said, I'd have to join some super team. I felt the exact same way. I'm like, fuck yeah. He's a big time family guy. He loves his family. His brother's on his team, I think.
Because apparently fucking James Harden said some shit. Like, I don't know what they were talking about, like about a season ago, saying that pretty much that all Giannis does is just dunk, and that how easy it would be if he would just dunk. That he plays like basketball. I'm like, bullshit. Your fucking old lady defense that, James Harden does.
The flopping is the flopping part of it?
Yeah, that where he doesn't even run. He just lets people go by him.
No defense. That guy doesn't play defense.
Yeah,
I would never want that guy on the Spurs. Ever. Never, ever, ever. Now, Giannis, I would definitely want on the fucking Spurs. You know what I mean?
No, that guy, he does more, way more. Fuck that dude. That's why James Harden didn't take Houston anywhere.
Did he prove that with 50 fucking points and a championship?
And that's what everyone is saying too. He had that great stat line. Just shut up. Shut him up.
Everyone coming out to what I was reading. The thing I was reading there was like, oh, he beat a bunch of injured teams, or not everybody was healthy. I'm like, that's every season. That's part of sports. Like they're like, oh well, Kawhi was hurt, on the West. And,
who cares?
LeBron wasn't healthy, and that team was. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I was like, no one made a big deal like when Cleveland was hurting. When Golden State beat them, no one gave a good fuck about them. So
I'm like, there will always be critics come out and say some bullshit. Always. I'm like, that's the fucking worst. I'm like, the man won. Give the man his flowers. He won. Like, it's done. Like, it. Badass for him. You know what I mean? What else? Let's see.
He says doing lines.
Yes, Steve, you got to show the guy doing fucking lines and being out of it.
See him once like preacher. That's what he wants.
I just I didn't
You
feel
remember
like
that scene, right, with Preacher?
yeah.
This what's his name? That is from like the early issues.
I can't remember, but in Preacher, everything is going fucking crazy in the comic and in the show. The comic way more, but I mean, yeah, like they just have Snake Eyes in this comic, like let's put firecrackers in the trash can. I'm like, ooh, he's doing bad. I was like, who fucking wrote this? What the fuck is this? That part was not well written to me. You know what I mean? So that's not Larry Hama. That's otherwise. So who else?
Gabe says y'all make it to Comic Palooza this past weekend. It was a great show. No,
man, I wish. Gabe, did you go, brother?
I'm guessing he did because I know Rick was there.
Yeah.
But no, Gabe, I didn't. No, I didn't want to go. I was good on that one. I am going to the Bell County Comic Con though on the first weekend of August, so I'm going to go there.
I want to go.
Yeah. So
you're going by yourself?
Maybe me and the wife. Yeah.
Okay. Where's that? Where's Bell County?
It's just below Temple. A little past Georgetown, but below Temple.
I might not be going with you.
Really? 2 hour?
Oh, 2? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say 4.
No, 2 hours.
I don't know.
No, Dallas is 4.
I did not go either game because I was in South Padre for the second weekend in a row, which if you can see this gorgeous tan I've got here, but was super rough on the rest of my body because in my first weekend there, I didn't know you could get burned in overcast weather. Then we did a show, and then I went back to South Padre, and I was like I looked like the fucking Joker out there, man. Like I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm covering up. But yeah, so no, I did not get to go to Comic Palooza. I would love to have gone. I've been to that one time for Amelia Clark. Gabe regale us with a story of Comic Palooza. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, the one they were sending around those was the Mandalorian. They had Katie Sackhoff, Carl Weathers. Damn, I can't remember. It was 2 other ones from the show.
Not Pedro Pascal, right?
No. Damn, I forgot the other 2. Shit. It would have been, a really cool poster, to get for the Mandalorian.
Definitely.
Those...
Well, you've already got the armor.
Giancarlo.
Esposito, Giancarlo Esposito. That's your guy.
He was the 3rd one.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember the 4th Mandalorian actor, but it was pretty much based around them.
And some Emmy nominees there, Giancarlo.
I'm thinking that there's still a lot of celebrities that are kind of like hesitant still. Because this wasn't as big. No. This Comic Palooza is always one of the big ones.
Well, that's what I mean. Especially with you saw that Austin just went back into protocols, right?
Yes. So I'm not surprised that they didn't have that much of a big, because they usually have big stars. Like you said, Amelia Clark. They had the cast of Aliens one year for Sigourney Weaver. So. Yeah. I mean, this is a major one. So, yeah. Great
question, Gabe. Steve says, AA, you think he might have Herculoids? Are we talking about Alfred? I don't know.
Oh, Alfred. Probably not.
You know what? He did tell AA, ask him his favorite characters.
Ask him.
Yeah. Ask him, Steve. You know what? These guys pull stuff out, man. Let me tell you, they've got old stuff and new stuff. And so you never know. So I'll definitely put in a word for you, Steve, with Alfred and Chris about Hercules. Aaron B in the house says, yo, what up, Aaron B? My boy Matt in the house. Matt says, have y'all seen the movie yet? AA has seen it, Matt. I have not seen it yet. Did you see it, Matt? And if so, what did you think? I'm glad you're here, brother. Of all people I would want here for my Snake Eyes episode, you would definitely be one of them. I'm on the hunt for some figures, Matt. I don't know if you're still doing the GS spot. That's a wink and a that's my very poor nod to that. I know where you're at, and maybe some heads up for me, because I don't want any movie stuff, but I'm looking for maybe the one with him and Timber. Give me a heads up, brother. I got some stickers for you, Matt, too. Maybe you can promo me at your work. That might be a good crowd for it to go over in. But let me know what you thought, brother. I'm going to probably go later in the week. Again, we're not really going to do a hard review on it. We're talking about the comic book stuff. I'd love to.
I did see the movie, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's what his thoughts were. That kind of discouraged me a little bit, but you know what I mean? Like, we'll see now. Let's see. Gabe says, I did go. Tons of comic vendors. Okay, any good artists or writers, Gabe?
I didn't see any listed at all.
And what did you pick up, brother? You got some good pickups? Steve says, AA comic books. Hercules comic books. I will ask. We can ask. You can definitely ask.
Yeah.
Aaron B says, Haha, your Hispanic ass got more tan. Yeah. There's no argument there. I have nothing to no comeback. Steve says, Chuck, where did you stay? First weekend, Steve, we stayed off of a street called Gardenia, which is connects right to Gulf Street, which Gulf faces the beach. And the second week, we stayed at a place called Beach House Condos, which was on Gulf Street in the back, but we were on the 4th floor and there was no elevator, and that sucked balls. So drinking and going up the stairs, no bueno. Matt says, I did, and I was not a fan. LOL, what figures? Well, again, I'm looking for maybe him and Timber. I just ordered one from Big Bad Toy Store, which is just him solo with that blue pack, because I have Cobra Commander in that pack.
Oh,
but
with the chrome mask or the other
no,
one?
I think it's the black mask. I'm a bigger fan of him with the kind of the chrome visor, though. I like it. Matt, I know you know what's up, Matt. But yeah, I love those $50 PVC statues too. I'd love to have him in Storm Shadow. Double A has Serpentor. And the helmet. I know y'all got the helmet on sale for $89.99.
Yeah, I saw that at GameStop. I was like, ooh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it, because a lot of people had it for Ray Park design.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real badass looking mask.
It's very fucking cool. And I know you have one, Matt, because I've seen you wearing it on your, I believe, on your Facebook. Nice. So Matt is a great connect for certain things. I won't put him on blast on air, but yeah. He says, we are still taking reservations on Timber and Snake. Well, there you go. Let's do something, Matt. Let's get together and talk about this, brother. I got just another Friday Night stickers here, and I got t-shirts also for sale, but I know that you're always able to help me out, man. So yeah, let's talk more about that. But yeah, it sucks to hear that you weren't a fan either, because that's two big Snake Eyes fans I'm hearing were not a fan of the movie. Man, that sucks. I wish it would have been better. But great comments, guys. Stick around for the rest of our conversation. We are talking specifically about Snake Eyes Declassified, the 6-issue series from DDP Comics that came out in 2004. It pretty much recaps and recreates the origin of Snake Eyes. The 2 issues that I bought from Larry Hama G.I. Joe, issue 26 and 27, which are fantastic, but they kind of redo the art and they kind of incorporate some other issues. So it's so much fun. And again, I have not seen the movie, but I will still see it no matter what. But yeah.
Matt says the movie as a movie was not bad, but the story is what overall killed it for me. Yeah, that's what I told TM.
And to me, that's the biggest thing. I'm like, you can tell me it had the best action, the best CGI, but the story sucked. And I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like when the story is not engaging me. And I think we're going to get into kind of some specifics that maybe were changed without doing too much of it, whatever. Aaron B says, how much is that comic worth? The ones we just showed right here are not worth, it's worth a few bucks, man. You know what I mean? But again, if the movie maybe would, according to you two guys, I don't think it's going to do too well, but let's just say the movie becomes the next Avatar overnight, then maybe they'll go up, they'll shoot up.
The only two G.I. Joe I could tell Sam is going to be issue 1 and issue 21. That's really it. That's going to be the only 2 issues that are ever going to be worth somthing, probably from the G.I. Joe line. So.
Yeah, and you ain't going to retire off them.
No, and not those either. Yeah,
but everyone here, man, guys, a great conversation. Glad that you joined in. Don't go anywhere. We're going to keep talking about the man in the black mask himself, Snake Eyes, and the 2004 series, Snake Eyes Declassified, right now. Thanks for hanging out so much, guys. We took a quick little blip there to read through some comments that came in on the old Facebook Live. Guys, you know that every Friday night we go live on Facebook, although I say that with the last couple of Fridays we were not. We did some early shows Thursdays and Wednesdays, but we always let you know in advance. But we're back to Fridays, and we're going to be back to Fridays for a while now. And I'm back to beers with Double A here, which is great. And tonight we're talking about one of our favorite characters, not just in comic books or in cartoons or in the 80s or in even movies, but just period. You guys ever see those Facebook lists and it's like, oh, you've got to fight an island of ninjas. Who would you choose? Or you get to choose one guy to be your partner against all the rest. And it's people like John Wick and, Liam Neeson from Taken, Chuck Norris, Bruce Lee, Black Widow, Bond. Well, let me tell you who could easily be on that list without a shadow of a doubt. Batman's usually on there. Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow, both could easily be on any one of those lists, and they would be a kick-ass fucking partner to have.
Fuck yeah.
And right where we're at in the series we're talking about, Declassified, Snake Eyes has just arrived with Tommy in Japan. He's met the Hard Master, the Soft Master, and Tommy, now referred to as the Young Master. And he's in Japan. He's telling them, this white guy, this Westerner is my brother. Let him train with us. And see what he's got. And where does the story go from there?
So that's when we start hitting it hard, man. We start seeing the training that they do, and at first it's a little rough for Snake Eyes, but you know what? He's starting to feel it, man. He's starting to get more and more comfortable. He's liking the lifestyle a lot more. It's coming to him pretty damn easy. The training, the meditations, the sword play, the sword fight, all that stuff is coming pretty good to him.
Mastering the different things, right?
Yeah.
And I think too,
and it's clearing his head.
I was about to say that I think he's finding peace,
yes.
which he is fucked up over the loss of his family, especially his twin sister, because that's all he really had. He didn't have a girl back home. He didn't have a woman or anything like that. He just had his peeps,
But now here he's got a family. He's got the clan of his family. He's got a brother and Tommy. And
definitely,
man,
definitely a brother.
Yeah, they are just they're kicking ass. He's kicking ass. The hard master's impressed with him. Soft master's impressed with him. They're starting to think that, man, yeah, Tommy, yeah, this guy is an excellent choice for the clan. He's going to do some great things for us. As Snake Eyes is progressing and he's getting better and he's mastering the techniques, Storm Shadow's getting a little bit jealous, or Storm Shadow is getting a little bit jealous because now the Hard Master and Soft Master are really, really up high on Snake Eyes.
They're taking an extra interest in him that he didn't really expect.
No.
Yeah.
And, Tommy, starts kind of like, getting a little bit what would you say?
I mean, like you said, it's just kind of green-eyed envy, jealousy.
Well, not just that too, but all of a sudden it's like Snake Eyes is starting to kind of like best him too in some of the trainings, and the Hard Master and Soft Master are kind of getting on him too. Like, yeah, man, you've been training like your whole life, and you brought in your buddy, who's just coming in,
and then they're throwing at him too. You're gonna let this outsider, this Westerner,
kind of like
so they're rubbing it in,
kind of just like, right,
yeah,
really?
Really. Now, what I did like that they wrote in to both versions that sometimes they leave out is that you have the one guy excelling, but they don't really acknowledge it. They just kind of like, oh, I'm rising up. I'm going to keep going. Snake Eyes recognizes it, and he starts to hold back. And he's like, no, I'm not going to do that because this is my brother.
Because for Snake Eyes, it's like, no, this wasn't supposed to be a competition. This was me trying to, accept Tommy's offer, find peace, and live this great lifestyle that I can do, this disciplined lifestyle. That's all he wanted. And just be there for Tommy.
And he doesn't want to drive a wedge between the one person he feels closest to in the world, the one person he kind of feels like he has left.
Yeah.
But they're telling him, like, you can be greater.
Yeah, you can be the guy for us. And he's like,
he's doing a Jon Snow.
Yeah,
I don't want it.
Yeah, because he's like, no, motherfuckers. Like, I came here to find peace. This is Tommy's spot.
Right.
That's it. This is Tommy's family. This is his spot. I'm not supposed to be there. I'm just supposed to be with Tommy.
How about this, Double A? How about we're grasping, and I started to notice this. We're grasping from the creation and pretty much the words and everything of Larry Hama some very Wolverine-y feelings, right? Yes. Wolverine is, I think about the episode we always talk about. Then Wolverine came to the Eskimos, and Wolverine, and he took everything away, and I'm like,
I'm number one.
I'm just here to chill, bro. I don't fucking give a fuck about this shit. I want to be left alone. I'll help y'all out. Catch the fish.
Yeah, that's all Snake Eyes wanted, man. He just wanted a home, a brother, and that's it.
But when you're good, you're good. And he was good.
And he's fucking good.
He's good. Now, but it doesn't mean that Storm Shadow is no slouch.
He's no slouch.
Storm Shadow is fucking badass still.
The masters can tell he's losing focus. He's getting more hatred in him. Yes. He's getting more anger, more jealousy. And
I do love this line from the it's in both versions. Well, no, it's only in the trailer in the Justice League or whatever. But when the great Jeremy Irons is playing a great Alfred, and he goes, "That's how it begins. The hatred begins. The Batman v Superman. He's like, the hatred's like a storm. It takes over you. Like it starts to grow in you or whatever. That's kind of what's happening. It's like you know, it starts kind of small for Storm Shadow, but then he's like, fuck, this shit's like fucking really getting on my, you know, my nerves. You know what I mean?
And so what really kind of pushes over is that they pretty much say that Snake Eyes, you know, with more training, he's going to be the guy for us. And it's just like, whoa. Whoa. You know, I didn't bring you in to fucking outshine me.
That would be like, if I started hanging out at your house and then your dad is like, I'm going to leave all of the family stuff to you. It's like, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on here? You know what I mean?
Or if my kids are like, I like him. I wish he was my dad.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You'd be like, what on the fuck is happening here?
Like, what the hell?
So again, I love that they make Snake Eyes so aware. He's like, no, that is not at all what I want. And I'm not going to, and he's considering leaving. He's like, I'm just going to deuce out of here, man, because this shit is going to create too much shit.
Yeah, so him and Tommy are just like arguing bad, real bad. And that's when Snake Eyes, like CM says, he's about to make the choice. And one of the masters comes in and he gets pissed at both of them. He's like, you know, like, you shouldn't be jealous. You know, this is your brother. You brought him in here. And he tells Snake Eyes, like, you know, you're planning on leaving us after everything that's going. You're just gonna, we don't mean nothing to you. Like, you're just gonna just bolt out of here just like that. You know, it's like, so he gives them both an ass chewing out bad.
That's the soft master, right? That gets on there.
Yeah, he gets fucking pissed. And Tommy just leaves. He's fucking pissed. As this is happening, you know, he's becoming more and more better with the bow and arrow. You know, he's
Storm Shadow.
Yeah, that's like his main weapon. Storm Shadow is like,
and they tell him, they go, as good as you've gotten, Snake Eyes, you're not as good with the bow as Storm Shadow is. He is the better with the bow. That's his fucking weapon.
And he's learning like these techniques of like how to feel like a heartbeat. You know, of how he can shoot someone, he can kill someone just hearing. He doesn't even have to see the motherfucker.
What do they call it? Seeing with ears or something like that? He can see with ears.
He can fucking somehow feel the heartbeat of someone. It's almost like that part in Highlander. Remember where Ramirez is telling him, you know, feel it.
It's the quickening.
Yeah, almost. And he's like, holy shit. Well, Snake Eyes is really getting good with the sword. He's getting really, really good with that fucking sword. And man, that training, you know, it's getting better and better for Snake Eyes. And then it was like this ultimate test of like almost like meditation, where like the master's pretty much telling him, let yourself go, where you can only hear my voice. And Snake Eyes finds enlightenment, and Storm Shadow doesn't. He can't find it anymore. And that's what pretty much sets him over the edge. And Snake Eyes is like, man, you know, you can do it. You know, you did it for me. And he was like, doing it then, it's not the same like doing it now. I can't fucking do it anymore. You know,
I feel like it's so close to him. Again, I mean, I very much like it. It's like losing the family business. Like maybe even in a family where it is with brothers, maybe, you know, like the Godfather, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, Fredo thinks I'm the next oldest. I should be the guy, but you're not the guy. Michael's the guy. And you're not good. You're not as good. The masters
are seeing it as like, man, you're great, but you know what? Snake Eyes is just outshowing you.
Yeah.
He's got more patience. He has more virtue than you. He can lead this clan to where he needs to go.
And you know what? I feel like Double A, if Storm Shadow could have found the ability to accept that Snake Eyes was better and found that virtue, that would have been enough to push him back over.
Him up.
Yeah, because it's also too like your family.
The hate starts becoming too overwhelming for him, where he can't get that shit out of his head anymore.
Right. You know? And I think that the hard master and the soft master would have been able to see past, but he couldn't even get past the rage. They're like, if you can get past the rage, although he's better, he could be like your number one because you're still fucking family. You're still like the bloodline, but he couldn't get out of it, and he got stuck in that.
Now, CM, we're getting deeper and deeper into where we're starting to split them up. But underneath all this, there's another storyline going on.
That's right.
Beneath this one.
That's right.
It's kind of like infiltrating their clan a little bit.
Yeah.
And who do we get introduced to?
Well, a guy shows up and they call him the man without the face, right? And he's supposed to teach them this kind of new ability or whatever, right? And this guy, they draw him also like a Westerner, like a blonde-haired guy with long blonde hair and a big ponytail and big
almost looked like Sabretooth.
Yeah, he did. And I didn't know who he was. Because they just start saying that. I didn't know who he was right away, but they're calling him that. And I knew I had read the other story, but I didn't think that's who it was. I was like, again, I thought that Declassified was veering off. I was like, where is it going? Who's this new guy? He's going to be somebody, obviously. And right away, they kind of write it in that Snake Eyes doesn't trust him. He's like, something about him that's off or whatever. So he knows that. He's thinking
before that too, he's even kind of like making a deal with, it looks like that guy.
Right. That guy
was trying to
get Snake Eyes to murder.
pretty much sent him to go into the clan and infiltrate it and do damage.
And again, we're calling these guys by not a name because they don't call them by a name at this point in the story. They just call, like, you just see their image and you're like, oh, that's this guy, that's that guy.
Yeah,
but they're not called anything.
So like CM says, Snake Eyes, doesn't trust him. He knocks on the door. They make him wait, and then he pretty much says, I want to learn how to make swords. I want to learn peace. Blah blah blah. Give him the whole spiel.
Right.
So they take him in. They accept him. And man, he starts liking it too. He's starting to kind of forget about his mission almost a little bit,
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I'm finding peace too now. I'm really enjoying this. I'm really getting into what you're saying. Your words are starting to make me realize, make me open my eyes.
Kind of almost like a reverse Donnie Brasco, right? Double A, where it's like you're learning good, you know what I mean? Versus, like,
and he's just like enjoying it. And he even calls him, was like, man, I don't think I can go through with this.
Yeah, mission, I can't betray them. You know what I mean? They've found me, helped me find peace, whatever. And then that guy tells him, the guy who tried to get Snake Eyes to murder, the guy who sent this ponytailed guy, the man without a face, to infiltrate. He tells him, well, if you don't do what I tell you, then I'm going to let them know who you really are, what your real plan was to do to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the sword he's making is for Snake Eyes, which is this huge honor within the clan to get a sword made.
Huge.
And there's even another young, I guess you could say, up and coming ninja that's like, well, I get a sword. And they're like, eventually, if you, continue to train good. And meanwhile, Storm Shadow hasn't even gotten that. So it's like this huge honor getting bestowed upon him. And the guy who's supposed to be number 2, I mean, it's kind of very Johnny Lawrence Karate Kid too. Also, it's like, fuck, man, I was the king of the valley here, and now this new fucking guy comes, and he ain't even from around here, and he's better than me. You know what I mean? So it's very, you can get where he would gain frustration.
And I really enjoyed this whole section. I thought this was just really great. It's almost kind of like Batman Begins. Almost like I really love. Remember, I told you I love that movie because it's a Batman origin.
Yes,
and it pretty much shows like all the teachings, the smokes. The smoke
I love
screens,
that.
all that.
Yeah.
This is what I loved about the Snake Eyes story, without really revealing a whole lot. I mean, him and Storm Shadow were just fucking majorly cool, man. Just tight as brothers, and the training that he endures, the intense training, to him mastering it because he's finding peace, man. He's finding peace after this terrible accident. He's loving what he's doing. He's loving training. He's loving that Tommy's his brother. Yeah. But at the same time, man, it's killing him too at the same time because he's driving this wedge. Storm Shadow's letting his anger just boil over. And you're seeing, man, why these guys have such a love-hate relationship throughout the whole series. They love each other, but man, it's just there's too much of a rivalry between them.
Yeah.
This rivalry, like CM put, I'm actually glad he put it because I was actually going to say it. This rivalry is just like Wolverine and Sabretooth, Mr. Sinister, Cyclops, all those great rivalries,
Ryu
all those
and
great,
Ken,
Ryu, all those.
Yeah.
Ryu, Bison, if you even want to do it that way. I mean, man,
it's almost where you think about them together almost all the time. And I can remember as a kid, Double A, liking Storm Shadow because I always like ninjas.
I love Storm Shadow too. I love the white.
Yeah. So for me, and the way he talked too in the cartoon, he talked so cool. He was just fucking cool. Like I was like, man, he's cool. He's so
the
cool.
way he climbs too, he doesn't even need anything. He can just somehow climb the walls with just his hand and feet.
He was like a figure I needed to have as the back. Like you got to have them together.
You have to have that guy.
So for me, let me tell you, this is a cool moment for me because I really only kind of knew the cartoon up until reading these this week. Is that I didn't realize what a great guy he really was. Yeah. And that was kind of like, oh, neat. Like I'm seeing this other side.
And
of
again,
him.
That's what's really cool about this origin story. It's not just Snake Eyes. It's also Storm Shadow.
It is.
You're seeing what Tommy maybe could have been. Maybe you've seen the good that's shown through him. Why Snake Eyes loves this dude.
Very General Skywalker in the Clone Wars, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I loved that aspect as well, is that, I was like, man, he saved his life first. Storm Shadow saved him. Like he was the one that said, come to my clan, come learn my ways.
Well, you can see why, man, like Snake Eyes can never really pull the trigger on this dude. That's his brother, man. Yeah. That's his fucking blood brother.
And he saved his fucking life.
And he saved his life.
In war. That's
why Snake Eyes can never really pull that fucking trigger.
Yeah. I mean, totally. So at this point, what's happening, Double A? After that, the sword getting made, the man with no face, he has to carry out the mission.
Master. It's like almost like a faceless or the face. I'm not even sure if he's like a fucking master, but he's trying to get into Tommy's head, like, man, this Westerner, he's no good.
Yeah.
You brought him in here. He's trying to corrupt
you said, more
Tommy.
pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you see Zartan kind of with some fucking random dude,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of supplying him with weapons and shit like that.
Right.
So you're seeing like, you know, this other kind of storyline go through, you know,
Yeah.
and man, it's coming to an head,
Mm-hmm.
bad, real bad. Like this whole chapter is already going to come to an end already.
And like Double A said right there, I mean, it's like that's who that guy is.
It's Zartan. I'm
fucking
sorry, I didn't mean
Zartan.
to
No.
But yeah,
No need to bury the
guy
yeah.
is Zartan. He's a big part of the history of Snake Eyes,
Mhm.
of Storm Shadow,
Mhm.
and you kind of will realize too how the misinformation, how this misunderstanding kind of caused Tommy to be exiled. You know,
Yeah, and so now you get pretty much. I think Phil, back me up if I'm going too fast, but we get pretty much to the point where the Hard Master, who is, you know, Tommy, aka Storm Shadow's uncle, the Hard Master is saying he's going to meet with Snake Eyes and pretty much offer him the role of being the next guy. And there's like one last technique to learn. And he goes, the last technique the ninja learns is like, you know, I can mime your breathing,
Mhm.
your heartbeat, everything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and he's like, okay, I'm ready to learn this. And he goes, okay, well, you know, as they're talking though, and he's offering him the lead, Snake Eyes is like, no, I don't want that. I will leave. I already said I'm not going to take the.
But they're saying that already. Tommy's already pretty much far gone. He's just, there's so much hate in him,
right,
that there's no way this guy can possibly lead the clan.
Yeah. And so, and he's still, Snake Eyes is still in denial, but then they're talking about this technique, and he's like, okay, you know, but as they're talking about, he's offering them the role. Snake Eyes says, I hear something. Do you hear it? And he goes, I hear it too. He goes, but whoever's out there is no match for us. So, okay. All right. So he's like, all right. They continue to talk. And this is the same in both books. And he goes, I'm going to go behind this wall and I'm going to mimic. And then you tell me who I'm mimicking. So, you know, I think Snake Eyes has his eyes covered or some shit like that. And he's doing it or whatever. And he's like, I can't, it's very familiar. You know, I hear your heart. I hear your breathing and all that. You know what I mean? And you know, but I can't figure it out who it is. And he goes, well, isn't it obvious? I'm mimicking you. Well, right at that moment, Double A, what happened?
So this weapon was a special weapon that Zartan was able to supply, or the guy was able to supply to Zartan. It pretty much picks up that person's heartbeat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Somehow it was able to link up to like Snake Eyes' heartbeat. Well, he shoots, and it's not Snake Eyes. He kills the
Hard Master. Yeah. And he does it how?
With the bow and arrow. Now, news has already out. Snake Eyes was going to be the chosen.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the only guy with that kind of accuracy that can shoot someone like that? Storm Shadow.
They even talk about how Storm Shadow, and I don't know if I don't even know how this is even possible, if this is possible. Again, you know, comic books and stuff. But I imagine that there is ways, because there are compound bows that can, like, you know, the harder your draw is, the tighter your bow is, you know, you can shoot through stuff. They show fucking Storm Shadow can shoot through like a fucking concrete wall. Like Snake Eyes hits the target and the bullseye, but when Storm Shadow does it, it goes like through the target into the fucking wall, and he like kills a bird or some shit. So this is kind of neat. This is different in the old one or whatever, because in the old one it's like it's an arrow that was found, you know, by Zartan that he had shot through the wall. He takes Storm Shadow's actual arrow. Well, in this one, it's like Double A said, in Declassified, it's like Double A said, it's they had already marked the arrow and mocked it up to look like Storm Shadow's arrow, because the plan was he was going to be the fucking fall guy, the patsy, and he was. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, they immediately it's Storm Shadow. He's the only guy that can do this, even though Zartan, you know, he's a badass with the bow and arrow too. He's the one that he kills Serpentor in later issues with the bow and arrow from a pretty far distance, and he lands right in Serpentor's fucking head.
Man, what a sniper fucking move. That's awesome. You have that issue?
Yes, I do.
I need to get that bad boy right there.
And so yeah, I mean, right away, Tommy's exile.
And now what do you set up? You set up the classic Snake Eyes of you murdered my master. You know what I mean?
And see, real quick, they go to Snake Eyes' room, and they're like, "Oh, it's just as we feared. He fled too. He left too. Snake Eyes leaves too. Yeah, because he's like, I ruined my best friend's life. Mm-hmm. I ruined it so bad that he killed his uncle. Mm-hmm. You know, and also he's on the lookout for him too now. Mm-hmm. He's on the hunt now. Yeah, all this misunderstanding, you know, that you know it wasn't really him. You know, a big mistake that was made by everybody on all sides that blamed Storm Shadow. when he didn't really do it. At the same time, Zartan's trying to go back and pretend like nothing happened.
Right.
And the master tells him, I know who you are. I know your deceit and everything. I brought shame on this house, and now I have to pay the debt. And that master kills himself. Yeah. Because of the shame that he brought in the house. And Zartan just goes ballistic. He's, in the one place he found peace. Mm-hmm. And
I think he was hoping to kind of continue even after what his folly, you know what I mean? But no, not to be. So
Zartan's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
And then to Storm Shadow, to Snake Eyes.
They pretty much say the Arishikage clan at this point is no more. That's it. It's been a total Romeo and Juliet type tragedy where the fucking family is just splintered beyond repair. So Snake Eyes goes back to the States, and he's kind of approached by the
Joes. Yeah, it's his old buddies. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he's living in solitude, like you said, and he's just living pretty much on the nature, mm-hmm. And
that's right. Yeah, up in the cabin. And that's the same in the old ones too. That's pretty neat.
And the Joes are, the generals are putting together an elite fighting force against terrorists. Mm-hmm. And one of the colonels, generals, I forgot what he is. He's like,
Hawk, is it Hawk?
I don't think it's Hawk. I think he said Gus.
In the old ones, it's Hawk.
Oh, it's Hawk. Okay.
In the old
we'll go with the old one. Yeah. So it's like Hawk, and he's like, I know a guy, and it's like it's Snake Eyes. Mm-hmm. And man, he's just coming back from like a hunt, and they notice that he doesn't have any guns on him. So they're like, shit, he's hunting without guns again.
And the townspeople are like, oh, that guy lives up there, some kind of werewolf.
With a wolf, a werewolf that
howls. He howls at the moon, only to find out he's got this guy.
Yeah.
Timber there with him. He's got an actual wolf.
And they pretty much sound like, look, we're putting together this team. We will really, really like to have you on there, And he says no, but then they do some more talking and they convince him to go. And then that's where he heads down to the training camp, this new fucking headquarters that's just the training the fucking baddest motherfuckers on the planet. You know, these badass GI Joes. You know, he's part of them, and they do a roll call, and it's your usual cast. You know, and
that's a little bit more fleshed out in the declassified one. It's some of the people in the old one, but rock and roll's there, and your classic Joes from the old.
And then that's where he meets fucking Scarlet, man. His fucking love right there.
That's
man.
right.
Scarlet,
right. And you know what?
Woman.
I wasn't really aware of that whole relationship.
I know, because in the cartoon it's fucking her and Duke. When in the comics it's fucking Snake Eyes.
That's why I didn't know that.
Man.
And Lady J's with Flint. Right?
Yeah. But Snake Eyes and Scarlet, those were the fucking two, man.
Okay, and that's really heavy in the book, so they just switched that all the way in the cartoon. Like, Snake Eyes is fucking getting no play in the cartoon version.
So it kind of made me hate Duke in the cartoon. I was like, hey man, what the
fuck you, Duke. That's why you get a snake in your chest for Serpentor.
And that's why you die in part 2, Channing Tatum.
Ooh. Spoiler alert.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, people are gonna go see that one.
No, The Rock is in
that. No, that one actually is a really good
Road Lot.
That actually is a really good one. But yeah, so man, they're training, and man, him and Scarlet, man, they're hitting it off pretty hard, man. They enjoy each other's company. Snake Eyes actually starts revealing some of his past to her, about what happened to his family, what happened with him and Storm Shadow, all that. And man, they connect.
He even tells her, which at first she takes it wrong, and this is in both, that he's like, you remind me of my sister or whatever.
I was kind of like, I know what he was trying to get.
Right.
I was like
your kindness and your those things or whatever. Those things I can kind of relate to, because people are always like, what the fuck? You and your sister are close. That's weird. I'm like, why? We're a family, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? But I guess most people are close to their same sex siblings.
I don't think you would tell like a chick that you want to bang or date. Hey, you remind me of my sister.
Right. Like, that was not a very smooth line from Snake Eyes. I'll admit that. I would never say something that dumb, but
no, I mean, they're hitting it off good, man. And they're both badasses. He knows that she can hold her own, she can watch his back. Same thing with her. He knows that, she knows that he can hold his own and watch her back, just as well. Because they're going to be going on very dangerous missions, man. More dangerous than anything they've ever faced.
For sure.
This is fucking, arms dealing, terrorism at the highest level, So they need to be aware. They're going to be going undercover a lot of times. you know, they're going to be infiltrating, you know, terrorist groups. So
Yeah.
they need each other's support. And, you know, Snake Eyes is really fucking taking to it, man.
And it's neat too, because it's in both versions, but there's like a training part, like a hand-to-hand combat part. And Scarlett's the one leading it. And all the women are like, excuse me, all the men are like, this chick's going to be teaching us. So they go at her and she mollywops all of them. Well, then when it's his turn, he goes at her, but like not at full force.
She beats him, but
and she goes, next time don't hold back or whatever, because even the guy's like, give her one for us, give her like a, you know, thumper for us. And he knows right away that he's like, I'm not going to go full force. And so she tells him, because she recognizes, she's like, I knew you held back. And that's in both of them too, where she's like, next time don't do. But she starts asking like, where did you learn to fight, train, all that or whatever.
Yeah.
So then they go on a mission, right?
Yes, they do.
And they're not. She's the only one like in her kind of Joe uniform.
Yes,
but the rest of them are kind of just dressed like soldiers.
Yeah, and they're in a helicopter. All of a sudden, they start getting shot at, you know, real bad, and they hit probably like the engine or something.
Yeah,
and a fire, man, just breaks out, and it fucking burns Snake Eyes up. Bad. His head is like in flames.
Yeah, and
this part.
In fact, this is the same in both, whatever. But like, there's two helicopters, two Joker, and one kind of hits the other one, and it's in flames. But everybody gets out. They get out except Scarlett. She's trapped and she's strapped in, and they're like, there's nothing we can do. But he's like, he goes back for her. He jumps back into the helicopter for her, and that's when he gets burned.
Yeah, bad.
Like his fucking face and everything. Yeah,
like he's carrying her, but like he looks like Ghost Rider.
Yeah, they say, they go, holy shit, his head's on fire. Like I'm like, fuck. Yeah. You know. That's fucking love right there. You know what I mean? Like your fucking head's on fire.
And
like
so they're like, you know, they cover him up. They're, you know, they get Scarlett going and they cover him up, and they're like, man, we need to abort this mission. You know, this kind of all gone to shit. And he writes in the sand CM, and he was like, Charlie Mike, he was like, continue the mission. You know, so Snake Eyes kind of like bandages himself up real good, you know.
Now that was really cool in Declassified, because that wasn't in any of the issues that I read, but that's in that other issue you said that we don't have. Yeah. And I would love to own that one. That's pretty cool. But I was like, wow, that's fucking badass. So he's like, no, let's keep going or whatever. So they keep going.
They stop whatever arms dealing what's going to go on, you know, and they get him to the hospital, you know.
And they're like, I think this is where they say his vocal cords are gone. He'll never speak again. So,
and then his face too. I mean, I can just imagine.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's just
looking worse than Deadpool. What does he say? And what's his name? He looked like an avocado fucked another avocado. He looked like that, like a worse Deadpool. You know what I mean? So he's bad. Scarlett's still there, and then
and he puts on his stuff, man. He puts on his mask and
puts on the gear. And
he writes
it again on paper. CM. Continue mission.
Yeah, and he turns around and he's fucking in his Snake Eyes gear, man.
So you know what, Double A? I think I'm barely making this connection, and we're about to go to break. But
all right, save it.
CM Punk is a huge
G.I. Joe, the Cobra,
and people would always question about what CM stood for.
Yeah,
Chicago made. Chick Magnet.
Yeah.
Could it be Continue Mission Punk?
Maybe.
He always said he would want to play what's his name? The sewer rat guy. Tunnel Rat.
Oh, Tunnel Rat.
He always would want to play Tunnel Rat in a movie.
Okay.
I think I'm making a fucking connection right here. CM Punk. Now we know what CM in CM Punk's is. And the same in CM Chuck.
Charlie Mike.
Continue Mission Chuck. Guys, we're right up against probably will be our last break. I think that's pretty much the end of the story.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more and then give final thoughts.
And we'll talk with you guys too, guys. So stick around, join the conversation. We're going to read your comments, and if you're listening to us on audio, a blip, and then we'll be right back in. Anyone else? We're still here. All right, guys, we're taking it right to the full 30 on each of these blocks, but we're here with you. We're reading comments. Looks like some of you are hanging out. Some of you guys aren't partying too hard. So, let's see what we got in the comments. Matt says
he said he talked to a couple of people that weren't Joe's fans that actually enjoyed the movie.
Okay,
we can see that.
You saw it with your wife, right? And you said she thought it was either here or there. Okay. And then the laughing face.
Yo, me.
Yo, you. Classic Joe.
Okay. Steve says, check out that awesome moon, guys. I wish I could. I don't have a good view of the moon from this room. So
you know where I have the best view of the moon from at my house? that little sliding bathroom window. That's
Nice.
Sometimes I'll go there. I'm like, damn, it's bright here. I'm like, oh, they're moving. And I'll slide it, and I'll look at the little.
Justin said, sounds like a kick-ass movie. I remember wheeling and dealing G.I. Joes with the other neighborhood kids back in the early 80s.
Yes.
I was also hooked on the cartoon back in the day, too.
Very nice. Justin, I have a great story with Friday Nighter Holty Bear. He's been on this show before in our Stephen King episode. We actually got the cops called on us because we were walking around the neighborhood with brown paper bags when we were maybe like 14, maybe. You know, back then it was still okay to play with toys at that age. Now 14-year-olds are like already fucking hooking up with chicks. But back then we still played with toys. We were like in our freshman year, maybe, or you know, in between middle school and freshman year. We were walking around with these paper bags filled with G.I. Joes. That's what we were doing. We were trading Joes, showing up, taking Joes at another one's house. And they called the cops because they thought we were dealing drugs. They were like, shit, what's in these bags? We were like, G.I. Joes? Yeah. Yeah. We were like, there's a bunch of G.I. Joes.
What did they say?
I think they just were like, okay, yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Wow.
It's like, okay, you know, like, you know, the cops never like to like have egg on their face. So it was kind of like,
yeah, because they're like, really, you caught these fucking on these kids? You're like, seriously?
And Justin, just to clarify, we're talking about the comic book. We're not talking about the movie yet, because the movie was very different from what I heard from AA here. But we're talking about.
I think Justin does like what we're talking about, though.
Okay, right on. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. We're talking about specifically this series called
Snake Eyes Declassified. It's a 6-issue series.
You could probably get it all collected, though.
Yeah, it's fun to read. It's a really good origin story. I think it's one of the better origin stories of a character.
Yeah, we're just trying to get people kind of up to speed because you know what? We talk a lot about Marvel, a lot about DC. We talk a lot about like, you know, specifically kind of comic book characters, but you know, Snake Eyes is one of our favorites that's from out of that realm, and he came up recently. We talked about the Batman Fortnite. He was in the comic and he's in the game, so I love wearing that, you know, skin because it looks super cool. But yeah, no, that's good, man. No need to apologize on here.
No. And I'm glad you're really liking how we're describing this. Honestly,
I'm just liking that you're here hanging out, man. Yeah. Justin in Ohio is in for the long haul here.
And you know, speaking of Multibear, because I just spoke with him too, he said that his favorite was the Sailor dude.
Shipwreck.
Yeah, that's his guy. Well, I was like, wow, Shipwreck.
With the parrot and the rhyming. Yeah. My dad always loved Gung Ho because Gung Ho was a Marine. And he would be wearing the Marine cap, but he also had the eagle globe and anchor tattooed right on his chest, which I think they've changed now. He doesn't have that now. Yeah. Now it's like an eagle or something, but it was cool because it was the Marine emblem tattooed right. Very reminds me of Machete it's got the chava tattooed down the center of his chest. So, very cool. Steve says, I'm getting toasted, guys. See y'all next week. Steve, see you next week. Thanks for coming back, brother. We appreciate you being here. Not the same without you, so we're glad to have you back. And then he says, you were doing lines with your G.I. Joe bags. Yeah, that's what they thought. They were ready to haul us in on G.I. Joe charges. But I had a lot of ninjas. I would always collect the ninjas characters. Terrible. So very, very cool, guys.
Yeah,
good stuff.
When well, you know what? We'll get into it right now.
Yeah, let me bring us back into the audio here. We'll close it out. We'll keep the comments up. So keep commenting. We'll be with you guys live now in this last part. I think we're gonna drink another beer, AA. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out through that quick blip of a break while we read through some comments. Great stuff. The story about me and Holty Bear getting stopped with our brown paper bags filled with G.I. Joe toys. Justin in Ohio said he would wheel and deal trade G.I. Joes. So would we. And we got the cops called on us here down in San Antonio. And they thought we had lines, as Steve said, of dope, but it was not lines of dope. There's no
hope with dope.
There's no hope with dope. It was just a bunch of Shipwreck, Snake Eyes, and Storm Shadow G.I. Joes.
What did you trade John with?
You know what? We weren't trading. We were actually just transporting.
Okay.
And I think we put them in brown paper lunch bags because we did maybe realize we were like a little bit old to still be playing toys. But you know what I mean? Like,
embarrassed
a little bit embarrassed, a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I think it would be like 2 more summers before I saw my first pair of tits. It was still like, you know what I mean? But, you know, back then in the 90s, guys, early 90s, there wasn't all this shit there is now. So you still played toys kind of at an older age. You know what I mean? Like, that's a kind of a sad thing I think about the way we're going generationally because, you know, kids stop playing toys younger. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Well, I mean, Nintendo is kind of a toy in a way.
Yeah, it is. But your daughter doesn't play with Barbies no more, right?
No, not really.
No, you know, it's like, you know, I'm happy that my nephew still kind of collects stuff.
But then again, you know, she doesn't have no one to really play with. So.
That's true too. Yeah.
So
you know, like my nephew right now, it's more like on the collector side, which, you know, I don't like, but what are you gonna do? At least he's getting toys, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
I was like, What? He hasn't opened the fucking statue yet. I was
He
like,
hasn't opened the statue yet. I
statue.
just saw it the other day, and I was like, I'm taking it out of the box. He's like, well, I don't want to mess it up.
Do what your cousin does. Open up.
Yeah, exactly. But here we're buying these $20 other figures that we're opening, and he's wanting to build those bigger figures.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah.
That's what they're there for.
I know, but I'm just like, those figures are $20.
I know.
It's brutal. It's brutal.
So we're gonna end up in this Snake Eyes. So like it was kind of like a little epilogue afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
After we see Snake Eyes, we see what happened to Tommy. And,
oh yeah.
We see a caption. We see this page. It's the Baroness, and we also see that guy who's been kind of like circulating around.
Yeah, the guy that wanted him to do murder for like no reason after they did just petty vandalism type shit.
We find out it's a fucking commander.
Cobra Commander. I thought that was a pretty cool write-in. From my knowledge of the older books, that's not in there, but they put that in this one, and it's like, he's there
at this time. He's like this guy that just gets so disillusioned with the American dream, what it's supposed to be, because for him it was a bad deal, and he takes it out and he starts kind of organizing these kind of little meetings and everything. He starts getting followers. He starts getting people that start believing in his propaganda, and sure enough, it becomes this large network. He starts getting more powerful people with him. It becomes really big. They start calling themselves Cobra, and it becomes this terrorist organization now.
The New World Order.
New World Order, yes. And, well, they need a bodyguard for the commander. This newly guy that's going to be the leader, that's going to take over the world. He's going to need someone badass. They're saying there's this one guy. He's moving up the ranks super fast. He's so much better than everyone else. And would he be willing to be the loyal bodyguard for this man, this new powerful man that's going to be making a scene? He says yes, and it turns out to be Storm Shadow, Tommy. He bows down, and it's going to be
that's an interesting scene. The Arishikage clan has all but disbanded. A man without a soldier without an army. You know what I mean? A man without a place. Tommy's there. This guy that has been. He tried to do nothing but really good, which I thought that was really cool to learn that about Storm Shadow.
Which is cool, right? Because, again, this is also
he's not a piece of shit. He's not a shitbag. He's not a bad
origin
guy.
Of Storm Shadow.
He saved fucking Snake Eyes' life. You know what I mean? His very first kind of act as a character, he saves him, and then he offers him a place. He's the one that gets Snake Eyes to get the training that he needs,
and that's why he hurts Snake Eyes so much every time he has to go up against this guy.
So in the old comics, so it's a great scene at the end of that book where you see, Cobra Commander, and the guy's there without the mask. So you see him without the mask, and then he puts the hood on, the blue hood, the long hood, and then he puts that on, and he Baroness is there, and then you see this. So you see kind of like, in a sense, the big three, and we know that Zartan is going to come back into play or whatever. But it's kind of cool in the older books or whatever. While that scene in particular is not there, you do have other moments that are neat. And I can imagine if I was reading throughout these issues, I would have been like, what the fuck? Like, what? Because there's this moment where Storm Shadow does tell Snake Eyes, and again, this is in the older books, he's like, I know what you think. I know you killed, our master, the hard master or whatever. He's like, but I didn't. That arrow came from the arrow that was retrieved outside the wall, and it was Zartan that did it. So now you've instilled this doubt in Snake Eyes, what the fuck? You know what I mean? How could that be or whatever? And then that's when you get this switch in the comic books where Storm Shadow's hanging out with Snake Eyes and they're going on missions together. Yes. And to me, that's kind of that classic thing where it's when you get these two together, it's fucking two badasses. Good fucking luck. Imagine if Sub-Zero and Scorpion got on the same page, although they're both bad guys, you know what I mean? But they hate each other.
No, it'd be a hard combo to beat.
It will be very tough to beat. The same thing with when Wolverine and Sabretooth get on the same page. You know what I mean? When Ryu and Ken are together, it's they're friends. That brotherhood is always there, but for the most part, we kind of see them as rivals. We consider them, to be rivals, but they're the good guys. There's no bad one in that combo. Although later on, I think in the games, Ryu does there's an evil version of Ryu, but it's not.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and then there is an evil version. Again, the Street Fighter games are kind of weird, but either way, it's that classic kind of combo. You know what I mean? And it's so it's kind of neat to see when Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are on the same page.
And there are some issues.
Brothers.
I don't know if you can really see it right there. That one right there.
Yeah, that's the one. The
where
ones
they're surrounded by Cobra agents.
Yeah,
you know?
And they fuck up everybody. Like it's badass. Like I'm like, man, these two guys are pretty much unstoppable. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and you know, and these two guys, you know, when we talk about badass.
Good night, Jason.
Good night, Jason.
Appreciate you being here, brother.
You know, again, these are guys that I would probably put, you know, if they had the same powers, you know, I would say, you know, they can handle a pretty good amount of Marvel and DC characters.
Oh yeah,
pretty easy. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, you know, like we said, you know, Double A was not pleased with how the Batman and Snake Eyes fight. Matt, if you were still here, I would love to think what you thought about that. You know, or what do you think about that matchup?
Snake Eyes should have fucking won.
Yeah, so. I mean, like I said, to me, that is a very even matchup from all the way that they described Batman. You know, as being
and it
kind
did
of a
end
perfect
toward a draw. So I was kind of like, well, you know, again, maybe this will help put Snake Eyes more in people's minds. Like, hey, this guy hangs with Batman because Batman's like the popular guy, you know?
Right.
So, hey, maybe people will start seeing Snake Eyes in that light. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, this guy went toe to toe with Batman.
And it's good for them to put people like that in there and have them hold their own because that's how it would be. You know what I mean? I think so too. I mean, like, to be honest, I mean, I think Punisher or the Daredevil too, or Daredevil could hold their own too. But yeah, I mean, a Snake Eyes could definitely hold his own with those two, and probably maybe even win. You know, but I would also say the same with Storm Shadow. I think that Storm Shadow is equally as badass. I mean, no doubt. I mean, I would say he's all the marksman that Hawkeye is. You know, or even Green Arrow. I mean, you know, so those guys, throw him in the conversation with those marksmen. There's no none of them are mutants. There's no superpowers there involved. It's just, you know, you're a human with again the elite top of the skill. And that's what I like when people do mention this kind of like John Wick, The Bride. I mean, you know,
see, I'm just look at the movie. Look, they put Black Widow in, they make her badass, and now all of a sudden it's like everyone's like knows Black Widow. Like they always put her, like you said, that list of like, oh, you're surrounded by so many ninjas. Who would you get? She's on the list now.
Oh, she's
just because
badass.
No, but you know, because of the movies, you know, it elevated someone like Black Widow that no one was really talking about. To now they're putting her on that list.
Oh yeah,
with badass.
You're talking about putting these people Double A against James Bond.
Yeah,
who is an over 20 film, over how many years? 40 year character that we know Bond is badass. All right, let's do some running down. Double A, Bond and Snake Eyes. What do you think? What do you think about that fight? You think where are we?
Snake Eyes.
Okay, okay. Now, if it's Storm Shadow and Bond, do you still give Storm Shadow?
Still giving Storm Shadow.
Okay, and that's fucking, you know, Bond is a badass,
and he is, and I would say, you know, the Daniel Craig Bond for sure.
Oh yeah,
would give him a pretty good journey. But you know, Bond, it's weird. Like he's a good fighter, but he's kind of has like a brawling style, more so than probably maybe a Jason Bourne. You know, he doesn't have that kind of.
He's always in those conversations too. Yeah. Jason Bourne, Ethan Hunt. People always bring up Ethan Hunt. Storm Shadow or Snake Eyes are beating all those guys.
But you know, it's like it's weird. It's like you know, Liam Neeson from Taken and Jason Bourne. Those are like the guys that you can imagine maybe Snake Eyes kind of fighting.
Yeah.
And Storm Shadow, that kind of style.
Agree.
Almost, you know.
Yeah, whatever kind of, you know, like I said, you can't introduce guys like Cap or, you know, Neo from the Matrix, because now you're bringing in like they have like another element to them that's gonna put them over the top. You know what I mean? But like Daredevil's powers are not revolved around strength or anything.
There is no powers.
It's you know, his shit's all learned from ninjas. You know, he learned from ninjas too. Now those would be interesting fights, but I still think he's getting bested by these two.
Yeah, for sure, because he did go 1-on-1 with Cap and kept handling him pretty easy. So
and you know, he would, you know, Elektra the same thing, whatever. You know what I mean? Again, she might be someone that could
be a little bit better. I would say she's better than Daredevil.
Well, she has that edge where she's gonna go the extra mile. You know.
But in this 6-part series, this Snake Eyes Declassified, we get the origins of Snake Eyes, Storm Shadow. We learn more about Zartan, and we definitely see the formations of Cobra happening. So it's pretty interesting story about how they're all connected. These 4 kind of individuals are all connected. In, you know, the G.I. Joe story, it's kind of interesting. It's weird. It's like Cobra Commander and Snake Eyes have this, you know, very bad relationship. Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow are brothers. Zartan, you know, is responsible for killing Storm Shadow's uncle,
Right.
Snake Eyes' master. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
golly, you know, it's like
Yeah.
this.
It's kind of that classic, you know, Japanese tragedy or any culture tragedy,
yeah.
where it's like, again, like I said, like a Romeo and Juliet, like one does one thing and the other one says all these things happen or whatever, you know, and
But
you feel for these characters.
But I really say, like, if you ask me, you know, what is an essential Snake Eyes, I'd be like, get this 6-part Declassified. It's a really good origin story, and you get to learn so much about 3 of the other classic Joe characters: Zartan, Storm Shadow, and Cobra Commander. So it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, I did love how it kind of tied in the really big characters, you know, like Cobra Commander, right to this particular guy. It almost makes you feel like, man, like Snake Eyes is way up there. He's way more important than any of the other Joes because there's a personal connection here to them, to him, to Zartan, to Storm Shadow. I mean, like, that's pretty
and then we see
interesting, you know.
And then we see the relationship that him and Scarlet built together, you know,
right,
and how strong that unit is, because she's like, I'm with you all the way, even after the whole burning incident, the whole no vocal cord. She's like, I'm with you, you know, if you'll let me.
Without any spoilers, Double A, is that touched on in the movie at all?
Some of this is touched on a lot, but I think the storylines kind of get a little bit weird, blurred a little bit. So
do you feel as though maybe if they would have kept more true to maybe at least this Declassified story, that you would have enjoyed it?
I think I would have, but you know what? I felt like these guys, the actors who play Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, I think they're miscast. I don't think the guy playing Snake Eyes he didn't look like this kind of role for him. I've seen him in more romance movies than I have in action movies.
You couldn't have brought back Ray Park, right? Because too old.
Well, not just that, but I don't even know if they like the guy's look, first off.
Yeah, that's true.
Every fucking movie you see, they always hide his face.
That's true too.
I mean, I'm sorry, Ray Park. I really am, but I don't think they're casting you as the lead man anytime soon.
Well, again, and the way that we see him drawn in the books, you kind of get your classic, you know,
and then
Anglo blonde hair, blue eyed.
But again, that was Larry Hamill's choice. That was his choice. That was no one else's choice. That was him.
Yeah,
he made that decision, so I'm good with it. I'm always good with what a creator wants, and he was good with it.
Sure,
he was fine. And then people were kind of like, it's kind of weird, but people were kind of bitching that he talks a lot in the movie. Snake Eyes talks a lot, and he doesn't wear the costume. Was like, well, it is an origin story, and if you read this issues, he really never wears the suit, and he does talk, because at one time he could talk.
Right. Yeah, like you're trying to get to that point or whatever. Yeah, he in the book he talks a lot too. The story doesn't progress without you knowing that aspect.
Yeah, I was like, come on now, you know, he wasn't born a mute. You know,
right. Although that could have been an interesting choice to go.
So
you're gonna go that way.
Yeah, but I mean, no. You know, he could talk, he was fine, you know, and it needed to be done in this way. So, I don't know why people were all pissy about that for.
Do you have any casting choices, Double A, that you would have maybe done?
You know, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a good kind of solid actor. And I really don't even give a shit that dude was Asian. I really don't give a shit. I just think he was miscast. I don't think the action role is good for that dude.
Okay.
I don't know. Who's a good solid like 6'2", 220-pound dude, you know? I mean, and I don't really give a shit, you know, who it is.
You know what? Maybe the guy that there's a couple of guys I guess I could think of, but like the guy that was the Lone Ranger, you know what I mean?
Oh, Army Hammer.
Hammer. That movie didn't really blow up.
He's not. He's like persona non grata right now.
Oh, really? He's in trouble too?
Yes, bad. With some shit he said, stupidly said. You
know, I can't even keep up Double A with what these guys are saying.
Something about cannibalism and raping.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that dude is like, like persona non grata.
Okay, all right, not him. My poor casting choice comes out.
No, I mean, it's not a bad choice, honestly, but I don't even know about that dude either. Like, I've seen him in some movies, and his acting's not that great.
Okay. So I've got to go. Okay, what about the one kid? Dang, he's in super great shape in the Baywatch movie with The Rock.
Oh,
Zach. Yeah. But I saw him get all fat when he played Bundy. You know, no, might not have pulled it off.
It's weird because I don't know. You need like an intensity kind of looking. You know?
I hate to say it, but it's like my mind just runs to superhero people, but it's like it's kind of bad now because I think of them as those superheroes, like, you know, Chris Evans or even Chris Hemsworth.
And those wouldn't be bad. It's just like Chris Evans is already like 38, 39.
Right. Oh, so we got to go a little bit younger.
Yeah, because you're starting off like a lot younger before they were
okay.
Even, like
that's a
where
good
you
point.
know them. Where by the time G.I. Joe comes around, you can tell they're already well established.
Yeah.
They're so
I got to get myself more familiar with this younger crop of actors.
Me too.
So that way
I can't come up with shit.
Yeah, our fantasy casting is about to go into the damn toilet. So we got to improve on that. But good to know from AA that maybe it would have benefited from a little bit better casting.
A little bit more. I would say this is like very, very loosely based on this. I mean, you got some of the things that will like, okay, that was from the comic, but a lot of it's like
I just feel like this kind of reminded me of a wrestling match that wasn't booked or promoted with anything, because I'm like, man, like I felt like I'm like, what, they're making like a solo Snake Eyes movie? I thought that would have been on my radar, but it was so off my radar. I feel like it came out of left field. It was already done. Like, AA, we know how it is in the groups that we are in, all that. There's no news that's left unturned. And I'm like, I mean, I did hear about it, maybe like wind of it a couple months ago, but it wasn't like I even had any inkling that they were making a whole freaking new G.I. Joe movie. And why? Where is it going? Is there going to be more? I mean, like,
I think they're hoping it's going to get more. I don't know if it is or not, honestly. And the other thing too, I wanted to tell you too, is like, I don't think it took it too seriously itself.
Well, that sucks.
And I'm not saying that like I mean it was silly. I'm saying it like almost like how the Marvel movies kind of used to be. You remember like a Daredevil, like Blade 2 and 3.
Oh no.
That kind of style. Like it was kind of like there were still some kind of like cliches that you kind of see like in other movies.
What the hell?
It wasn't like, like when the Marvel Cinematic Universe hit, it's like Feige had this idea to kind of take it seriously as possible.
Right.
To make them, forget this is a comic book movie, to kind of just make it a really, really good movie. Like put your effort into this. Right.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, it felt like whoever was directing, whoever was writing was like it would come to a point where they were writing it was like someone tell them, well, remember, this is an 80s cartoon. This is a 80s, comic book. Let's not get too seriously. Like that's the way I kind of felt at certain times too. Like there's a classic G.I. Joe character, Cobra character that comes out in this movie. And I thought that character was pretty kind of like 80s villainy kind of.
Okay.
Like I don't know, man. There was something about it where I was like, okay, they're not really still taking this kind of seriously still.
Okay.
Like I don't know, like the first two G.I. Joe movies, I mean, Retaliation's fine, but it's not like a movie I highly recommend.
Right.
And neither is the first one.
Yeah.
And I felt like this could still be lumped in there too. Like, I don't know. It's
weird. And it's kind of funny because from what I did see trailer wise, I kind of got that vibe. I was like, I don't get the vibe that this is going to be the one that breaks it away from the pack. And it makes you think too, like, well, who should have got their hands on this to do it, right?
Somebody that would just, say, forget that this is a property, forget this is a Hasbro property, just try to make it like a really good war movie. Because what's cool about the G.I. Joe comics is that Larry Hama is a vet.
Mm-hmm.
He is a military vet.
Mm-hmm.
So he took the shit he wrote seriously. He knew where he was going. He knew the terms. He knew the lingo.
Yeah.
How everyone should look, how everyone should act. And he got it down. And I don't think people take that time to be serious in the movie. It's again, it's like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a fucking G.I. Joe movie.
Right.
It's just a Hasbro cartoon.
Yeah, we're going to sell a bunch of figures to the collectors.
Exactly.
And I've seen them out there already. And it makes me wonder, too, is it one of these situations where...
It's almost kind of like, the X-Men movies, they're popular, but then it was like, well, you know what? Wolverine's our guy. Let's try to make some movies of him.
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that, like G.I. Joe, like Snake Eyes is our guy.
Well,
let's try to franchise with him. Maybe we can make extra money. Maybe we can sell more Snake Eyes,
What did they say about the Dark Phoenix? They were like, oh, we rushed it because it was our last one and we're going to get one more out of them on the books. Even if it's like, oh, we're only making money off the quote unquote, nerds or geeks or whatever. It's like, we're going to make our last bit of money off them because they're going to go to any X-Men movie. So we'll take that grouping of money
Yeah,
that comes to
because-
Fox, and then you can have it because
and-
you already bought it.
And that's what I kind of felt, because it was like, well, you can't make a movie of Duke, right? Because
Right.
Duke Flint, you can't really make a movie of Flint.
Yeah.
You need Snake Eyes in a movie. So it's like, well, Snake Eyes is our most marketable character. He's the one that looks the coolest, and then we can put Storm Shadow in there. That's kind of like the way I felt like.
It's almost like you're getting a twofer. Like, we're going to have Snake Eyes. You're going to have Storm Shadows. You get two badass villains.
Yeah, so the studio's kind of like, all right, let's just slap Snake Eyes, come up with some fucking story.
Yeah.
And, let's let the advertising machine do its thing.
Sure. Which is the worst way to do a movie.
And that's the way I felt.
It loses there's no heart to it. There's no,
And I felt that way. It felt like it was kind of like loose. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But you got to ask yourself too, I don't know who would have wanted to attach themselves to that project, given that the other ones don't really have much success.
Anyone though, you could have done a really good movie about this. Again, get that mindset out of your head that it's a 80s cartoon for kids. Get that shit out of your head already.
Or not even that, but we're talking about it right now, and a little bit about what came out today. AA Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Yeah.
Here it's like, okay, we're not going to try to go for the big movie. Let's get some people that really love the property, really involved, do a great, and not even a live action series, not even asking for the Mandalorian. We'll do an animated series on Netflix. I would much rather see some love, care, attention go into a Snake Eyes or even a G.I. Joe animated series like that, 5-6 parts or 10 or whatever, and it's fucking fantastic and pays true honor to the characters that are great, versus them like slapping together some movie
or
that
just do like Disney Plus, man. Do a 6 episode show.
Yeah,
man.
How great would that be?
You have so much more time to flesh out the character. You have so much more time to write a good story, because it's like Matt said. It was pretty much relying on the action more than the story. And, that's just going to fall.
Yeah.
That's going to fall real quick, man. No one's going to remember the fucking story. Everyone's going to be like, did you remember that one part, on the street, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It's kind of like, man, so.
Even something like Kill Bill. Its action is fantastic, but you're really invested in the story of the bride, and this has a good story.
And it's funny because out of 1 and 2, I'm a bigger fan of 2.
Oh, interesting.
With the more storytelling,
right? Yeah, I think I like 2 better.
I'm more involved in 2 than I am in 1.
Yeah,
so
and of course, part 1, everyone remembers the House of the Blue Leaves and that fight or whatever. But here it is. We just talked about it in Declassified. What a great story this had with,
and that's what I'm saying. There's not a whole lot of action in here.
The turning,
it's a story. There's not a whole lot of action in this 6-parter.
Yeah,
so
you can get action out of it by making the training sequences good. You can make that good, because
I thought all that was rushed in the movie a little bit.
Okay.
I thought it was.
That sucks. That sucks to hear for sure.
It just, there was a lot of stuff that ruined the flow of the movie that I was just kind of like, I was just like kind of like underwhelmed. I was like, at the end of the movie, I was just kind of like,
I always say it should be for anybody, whether you're a fan or not. And I also say kind of like check your fandom at the door, because you'll be disappointed.
And that's the thing. And I'm thinking, is that again what happened? Because, when I saw Wolverine Origins, it was the same thing. I was super excited. It was Weapon X story. It was Wolverine, my favorite character. I went in there so fucking high, so hope. Yeah. And, I was like kind of like the same way here. It's funny because it's like it's Wolverine Origins, Snake Eyes Origins.
Yeah. No, and what? I'm pretty good about it, AA, about checking my fandom at the door. And I'm like, if it's still solid, it's still solid. Because I know you don't like it, but I love Logan. I'm like, that's a good movie. Like, and I know shit about Deadpool.
No,
for being a comic fan, I know nothing about him.
I do not dislike Logan.
Yeah.
I think it's depressing as fuck. And I'm not going to watch it again.
Right.
It is a good movie.
Yeah.
But I can only watch that movie that one time, and that was it.
I get you. And you know what? That's a really good movie without having a really great villain.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's
I think it was the Reavers.
The Reavers, yeah. Who those episodes of the cartoon or those issues, you're like, who gives a fuck about the Reavers? But
yeah, so man, so I was, super high. Again, Snake Eyes is just one of my favorite characters.
Totally.
I have this comic always hanging up, always, and Again, I don't know, man. Check out the movie if you want to. If you're curious about it, check it out. Don't listen to my review. Shit, what do I know? You know.
Right. And you know what? I mean, like,
I'm not a fucking authority on this. So
I take your opinion very seriously, but I still want to see it because I'm curious because I like the character.
I would actually want to hear your opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe you can change my mind if you do like it. Maybe you can change my mind.
I do like the character, and you know me, guys. It's either going to be would I buy it, would I rewatch it. You know what I mean? Like I really haven't revisited those other Joe movies, despite the fact I thought Snake Eyes looked really cool in them.
And he is. Ray Park is fantastic in those first two. But he's super excellent. Yeah, I love Ray Park as Snake Eyes.
But I can tell you about these comic books, the ones that AA let me declassify. I would love to own that in trade. I would love to revisit some of the other books we talked about because they were really fantastic. So that suggestion, I do highly suggest. Pick up some of the Snake Eyes comic books, read a little bit more about into the history of him and Storm Shadow and the lore of what makes this character so great. One of the most iconic characters for,
one of the coolest looking characters.
Very definitely one of the coolest looking characters. I'll be a badass Halloween costume, and a real all around badass. Guys, right up there with your John Wicks and all that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, everyone's up on John Wick. He's apparently the man, but he's right up there with him and all these other guys. Cousin Let in the house says hello. Hi, Let. We appreciate you being here. But that's pretty much it. Yeah. Any other final thoughts?
No, man. Just check out this run. It's Snake Eyes Declassified, 6 issues. Check it out. Pick it up. And check out the movie if you want to. It's a G.I. Joe for all you 80s hardcore Joe fans. Yo Joe.
Absolutely, Yo Joe. Let you didn't get your notification. I'm really sorry. I don't know why you did not. I'll look into it myself. I got mine, but I'll make double sure and see if there's anything that I can fix. But guys, for us here just on the Friday night, we always do like to say two things. They are right there on this man's shirt. One is to let me see if I can.
This was made from for Allie for me.
Yeah, that's right. So
you can tell her I'm wearing the shirt.
Allie made that beautiful shirt right there with that great line that we always like to say at the end of every show. Guys, seize the day. Seize the day. Storm Shadow, you know what I mean? He sees the day by saving Snake Eyes' life, inviting him to his clan, training him, whatever. And then Snake Eyes sees the day being there and making the most of it and becoming the best. But unfortunately, both two guys trying to do two good things that both didn't pan out well, whatever. But you got to do whatever it takes, which is what Snake Eyes did when he went back and joined the Joes. And Storm Shadow did whatever it takes as well by doing what he thought was right and unfortunately joining Cobra. But two amazing characters. We're both huge fans. You cannot have one without the other. They're yin and yang. Yep. Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow, man. Two badasses. One of them's got a new movie out that features the other. Plenty of figures, obviously cartoons, and of course we talked about the comics, Snake Eyes Declassified, and the great stuff by the great legendary Larry Hama. Go read that stuff as well. So for myself, CM Chuck and
AA.
This has been just another Friday night. Guys, we invite you to go check out Invincible Comics and more. Maybe their auction's still going on. Also, GraphX Plus on Instagram. Please give a like to facebook.com/TrinketTruck. And I think that might be it. Anything else, AA, on the comments?
Let me see. Let's say, good night. That sounds like saying.
And Justin says, I think good night. I'm out. Good to see you guys again. I'll
Justin,
check back. Justin, great so much. Thank you so much. Again, we love the stickers, man.
And then let's say she'll send it Allie.
Okay.
Support for Allie. So.
Perfect. All right, guys. Well, have a great Friday night. Be safe. Wear your masks. And we'll see you back next Friday night. Good night.